I guess we're starting.
We're starting! Yeah!
Wait, but we were at game over.
Game over. But, okay, we're starting a new game. It's brand new. Chapter 1 all over again.
Chapter 6. New game plus. Another Friday morning. As per usual, I wake up late. Stretch, yawn. I barely sleep nowadays. Shuffle to the bathroom.
I actually did wake up really late today.
Yeah?
I woke up at 1.
I woke up 2 hours earlier than I would have liked to. Take a shower, get dressed, brush my teeth. We'll probably be running out of toothpaste soon, but house funds for sundries are dwindling. Not that fresh breath and shiny white teeth matter much when there's barely any reason to get out of bed each morning. Off to the kitchen for breakfast. No appetite. Even toast looks unpalatable. Skip breakfast. Saves on groceries. We can't afford much anyway. I would be having breakfast with Juniper if she wasn't busy at her office all day. That's fine. I'd be lousy company anyway. After breakfast, I'd settle in for some wiring keep. I may as well. It's right there in the living room, taking up space. Been playing a lot of it lately. It's not like wiring keep's very hard. Once you've memorized the joystick moves, the cartoon plays itself out with minimal effort. I've saved the prints about 80 times now. My brain and fingers go into autopilot, moving through the game without even thinking about it. It's a brief calm from the storm of my emotions, but before I realize it, the day has almost passed. When dinner comes around, Juniper and I eat together while I quietly thumb through my phone looking at job listings. Iris could help me with this, I guess, but I let her down. I took her opportunity at my dream and wasted it. Better I do this myself. Besides, I'm not looking for dreams. I'm looking to settle. Dreams only get you hurt. It's the Spangle-Bottom family curse. I knew this would happen. Nothing good ever lasts, and it's a mistake to get your hopes up. I should have learned to settle, to be okay with what I had, to be comfortable in mediocrity. I fire off a resume or two before watching cartoons deep into the dead of night. Eventually, my body tires and I find my way to bed. Just another day. An entire scene in which it was all me as narrator. No lines, no conversation, nothing. Another Saturday morning. As per usual, I wake up late. Stretch, yawn, same thing I said earlier. Same exact thing. I can't take it anymore! And that's one toothbrush bit clean in half.
Ow!
Oh, geez, hang on. With a little help, I avoid choking to death.
Wait.
Sorry about that.
It's okay, whatever.
No, not whatever. It's what something! It's something ever! Crunk, you're in a rut. Like, seriously, deeply, madly, mega in a rut. And it's driving me batty having you mope around about the place like this.
I'm not moping. It's a rough patch, that's all.
I know this has been hard on you, and I've been patient. But you can't just keep going on like this, Crunk. Okay, my mind's made up. Hurry and finish your morning routine. I can't stand seeing you like this anymore. I'm taking you out to lunch. My treat.
Juniper, sort of sweet, but
You aren't getting out of this. A change of scenery will do you good. And if I see you playing Wyvern Keep one more time instead of doing literally anything else, I will break.
I don't know what to say.
Say nothing. Today we play the game Doki Doki Lunch Club, and it's going to be yummy. Oh god. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Bye-bye, Juniper. Lots of seeing of you.
Guess there's no avoiding it. I switch from pajamas to actual normal clothes, even if my actual normal clothes could probably double as pajamas, and get ready to roll out.
Are we an Autobot?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
After leaving the apartment, we catch a bus heading downtown. Clearly, Juniper's got a destination in mind. I'm not particularly talkative on the way there, and painfully aware of it. I feel awkward. Like I should say something, but I don't know what to say.
Murder.
So, Juniper just talks at me, content to chirp away. And you can tell it's not really the New York subway because the signs aren't in Helvetica. That's the telltale mistake that it's just like Vancouver or something. I try several times to join in the conversation, but when I open my mouth, the words aren't there. I'm lousy company, aren't I? Eventually, we arrive at our destination. A little arcade-themed restaurant combining games and alcohol and dining into one tidy package. Here we go! And usually excited to be going to some rundown little dive, Juniper hurries in without me. And I'm left all alone in the parking lot. With a shrug, I open the door and enter the darkened locale.
Oh, we're gonna get shanked.
Is this place even open for business yet? None of the lights are on.
Hello? Juniper, where'd you go?
Okay. This is now unnecessarily creepy. But before I can wonder if a giant animatronic bear is going to leap out and eat my face, the house lights come up. Surprise! Happy Intervention Day, Crunk! Yeah, that's a totally happy, normal thing to hear.
Oh, yes. Happy Intervention Day.
Happy Intervention Day, Crunk!
Why? What she said. We're staging an intervention on your behalf.
And we're also having a wake for Francine, since we weren't really welcome at her funeral and couldn't really hang around for the ceremony.
Yeah, we didn't get the chance to heal properly, considering Dato kicked us all out before we could really do anything about anything. And here we are. So it's a wake and an intervention.
A wake intervention, maybe?
I guess that makes it a wake intervention? A wake intervention? Really?
Correctamundo.
Yep, it was my idea. Well, my iris came up with the idea and gave me all the contact information I needed, but basically my idea, right? Just the thing to pick you up when you're feeling down.
Ding, ding, ding.
So really, seriously, kid, you've been such a damn sad sack since things went to shit. Which I get, believe me, but it ain't healthy. So we went ahead and rented out this place for the afternoon to bring the family back together. For you, for Francine, for all of us.
Now that you know why we're all gathered here today, let's get this party started.
I'm gonna need more coffee.
Oh, I have alcohol.
Teo drags me into the group of my friends, positioning me at the head of it all. Leaving me a little bewildered, honestly, but trying to defend myself all the same.
I don't need an intervention. This is just how things work with the Spangle Bottom family. Gosh dang it, I can't help but laugh.
Good job, you.
We don't get to have nice things. The universe has decreed it so.
And then we defy the universe, and we're going to help you defy it too.
BFFs for life.
So, one by one, we're going to tell you how awesome you are, and exactly why you're so awesome. And by the end, you'll be feeling a lot better. Hopefully.
Rise!
I let out a sigh, settling in. I owe it to them to sit and listen. They are my friends. And I know I've been lousy company. I'm not so far gone as to deny that fact.
Fine. Lay it on me. I'm listening. Allow me to begin then. When you first entered the Funplex, I had my doubts, but I'm a naturally suspicious person. And thankfully, those doubts were easily disproven by your skill and enthusiasm. You came looking for your dream and found it. I swore to protect that dream. That promise is what brought me here today. And on your very first day, you went headfirst into the most chaotic situation the Funplex could have offered. A birthday party. You did so without hesitation. When a destructive parent was screaming at a child over something that wasn't his fault, you stepped right in and dealt with it. Again, no hesitation. Impressive. Since then, you become an event manager without goading, without prompting, showing great ambition. You turned the Funplex's fortunes around, giving your all to promote it. You made your dream a reality. For years, I was supposedly in charge of the Funplex, but really, all I accomplished was shuffling numbers around. You are the one who helped it soar. And for that, you have my thanks. You're an exceptional individual. That fact remains true, regardless of whether you can see it for yourself.
Are all of the characters gonna have such a long monologue speech?
Maybe, we'll see!
Like, presumably?
It is an intervention. ...
Me next!
Have fun.
Remember when I screwed up and didn't tell you about the job opening at my office? You weren't mad. Not even a little bit. Not even quietly mad, like you could have been.
BFFs for life.
I know I can count on you, and you can count on me. Even when one of us makes a mistake, it can never shake that friendship apart. When I came to you wondering if I should leave that job I hated, you told me to follow my dreams. You gave me great advice, and I've never been happier. I followed suit and chased my own dream. You inspire me.
Hello.
Crap, who was who?
I think I was Ben.
That sounds about right.
Hello.
Hello.
Are we fashionably late?
10 minutes? I only saw you once.
Oh, you know what? I think you were Matt because this guy has a cross.
Okay.
In the flesh.
Ooh, what if?
Unless that this world is a vast I've never
Simulacrum?
seen
Simulacrum?
that. Simulacrum.
I don't really hear people say that word out loud a lot.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
What? That we're all just brains in jars?
Could be.
Well, isn't that something?
Well, if that's the case, Krunk is the cutest little brain in a jar we never actually met.
It's true, and they brought so many cute dates to our little shop.
We
No, didn't.
went for lunch with Ashley as coworkers once.
Once, yeah.
So nervous at first, but in time they became part of the Twin Pines Mall family, dearly missed.
Don't remind me. Our new neighbors are so boring. They never come in for a treat or read.
Speaking of treats, we brought cake!
Yay!
Cake!
We'll just be over here getting the goodies ready. Don't mind us.
Cake! Ooh, cake! I mean, my turn. Crunk, you were a true friend of the Funplex.
How frustrating.
Unlike the bastards who own it now.
Positivity, Naomi. We're emphasizing positivity today.
Right.
Wonderful.
Remember back at Donna Wood when we found those kittens? You helped me save them. You're not just a friend of arcade games, but of all living things. Not that arcade games are alive, of course. I choose not to mention Polybius. You asked Francine nicely for her blanket, which really helped out. I know you're not happy with how things turned out. I'm not really happy about it either. It sucks, but we did good things together in the time we had.
Hamza has arrived.
Oh no.
Have fun! Your legs.
An event does not truly begin until Hamza makes his presence felt.
My blood burns.
Crunk! Hamza understands your fury. The hated enemy of all who love arcades has despoiled your funplex. However, in our short time together, I saw a burning spirit in you. I accepted your offer for Wyvern Keep, recognizing that passion within you. Hamza would be shamed forever if he did not intervene and raise your spirits to new heights, and that is what he shall do. Ooh, cake! Excuse me a moment. Relatable.
Mood. Now I want cake. When do I get cake? Soon. But I have things to say first. Things that will hopefully inspire you to be a happy clam instead of a grumpy Gus. I'm a happy clam now. See? See how I clam happily? Give me cake. Can I have cake? From our first day at the Funplex together, you've been supportive of me, even after I gave you quite a scare with Pinky. You didn't let that bother you, and from that moment, we've tackled many a crisis on the Funplex floor together.
Amazing.
I've adored when we concoct hypothetical adventures on our downtime. You're amazingly fun to be around. You worked so hard to make Funplexapalooza successful. I watched you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it. And in the end, it all came together just how you planned. As the floor attendant on duty during Funplexapalooza, I got to see firsthand all the smiles you brought to all those people. You rocked it! I saw you helping that customer when their game crashed. Losing your high score due to faulty electronics is no fun, but you dealt with it. Made that person's day. Even problem players like Steve.
The ass.
What?
The ass.
Were no problem for you. You took on the weirdest and most annoying problems without breaking a sweat. Incredible!
Steve, the ass. That was literally his name.
Yeah. You made the Funplex a fun place to be for everyone. For the staff, for the casual and pro gamers, for the families, for me. I can honestly say that when you took over doing events at the Funplex, we've never had more fun. They've just been the best, all thanks to you. Ooh, I forgot we still have cake. Need some of that.
When does Crunk get some of that?
Crunk's not gonna get some of it at this rate.
I'm speechless.
Seems Crunk has some thinking to do. Get him some cake, stat.
This is pretty normal for them when they get that faraway look.
Shall we begin to wait for Francine then? There's cake and coffee and spirits from the bar.
Ooh. Wait, is this bar spirits now?
Yes.
Cake!
Yay!
As if in slow motion, I watch them all switch their attention from me and redirect it towards the refreshments. They're all smiling, conversing, and serving cake to each other. Not to me, just to each other. None for me, thank you. Watching the blood sugar.
Good.
Fuck me, this cake is amazeballs.
It's what?
Amazeballs?
Okay.
Look, I don't question that the way I don't question people who regularly say the phrase fuck me.
No, thank you.
I don't get it. I'll just leave that be.
All we need now are some rockin' tunes to get this party on the next level.
All of them here to support me, even without the funplex, even after everything going wrong, after Francine being taken from us too soon. I never really thought of myself as central in all of this. I was the outsider at first, the one who walked in those doors looking for a job, nothing more. I've always been on the outside, honestly. Moving from town to town, always the new kid, never really important to anyone. Not until I'd settled in one place just long enough to get to know Juniper. But by then, I'd come to expect that I'd never be happy. So when I finally was happy and that got taken away, well, I guess I'd assumed that's how things go. Going with the flow.
But now... Last one.
Really?
Yes!
You know, I think the last time I picked a bold answer on your encouragement, we told Deiko to fuck off.
I still don't regret it!
I slightly do. That would have been a thing that I would have, like, quick saved to see what happened.
Okay, we're doing other playthroughs.
Yeah, we are. Which means that you can get the last option later this time.
Oh.
I've been stewing over this all week, but what's done is done. We lost Francine. We lost the funplex. Why should I lose everything else too? In fact, I haven't lost them. They're right here, proving that they care for me. This is the hard truth of reality. Not loss, but what hasn't been lost. I can accept what has happened without living in denial. I can move on.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I think I'm ready to move on. I'd like to join you in celebrating Francine and what we had in the funplex. I won't deny it. We did some spectacular work there. Who's with me?
Smiles all around. And you know what? It feels good to be back. For the next hour or so, my sadness fades away, piece by piece. We share stories, many of which I'd never heard before, about the funplex and the shenanigans that went on around it. Surprisingly, Ben and Matt spin the most tales about Francine's exploits. They've been neighbors for decades. The so-called wake-tervention gives us all a chance to heal and to bond. For all we've lost and all we still have, we are still together. Despite one little problem which nobody wants to talk about.
Let's murder Deiko and steal the palace.
I don't think that's how property ownership works.
Oh,
Remember, this is not Hustle Cat. We are not in a witch duel. The winner does not take the property of the loser.
Coup d'etat!
The hour grows late, and we only have this place rented for the afternoon. I can feel it in the air, that unspoken worry. Will we see each other again? No doubt we can arrange more get-togethers, but they'd all be reunions over what was lost, not really building anything new. Nostalgia, not progress. without the funplex, without Francine, will we eventually simply fall away? That dark little thought troubles me as I swirl my drink, remaining quiet while others talk.
Beep beep.
Beep beep crunk. Hey, Iris, sup? I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, me too. I'm glad too. So, do you want me to start finding you a new job? I can search while you're talking with your friends. No problem.
I do need to get back to living my life. But what sort of life do I want to live?
Coup d'etat! That's my answer. Coup d'etat!
I have no idea what the fuck you're saying.
Overthrow Daco!
Oh. You pronounce that really weirdly. I'm gonna get more coffee.
Wow.
I had no idea what you were saying. You were saying it's so wrong. Okay, I have more coffee to deal with your bad pronunciation.
What do you have?
More coffee. Alright. Fight.
Murder!
I don't just want a new job. I want my dream. My funplex. Not just 4 walls and a bunch of games, but a community. When I was a lifeguard, I'd saved lives and made a safe place for people to enjoy the pool with friends. I'm not done with that dream. And more importantly, I don't have to be done with it. All around me are pioneers of this community, this culture. Technicians, designers, enthusiasts, investors, people with connections. And that's when the idea starts to form.
Iris? Can you search for commercial spaces? Ones for lease or rent?
Yeah! Make your own arcade!
Huh? Of course! I'm a little search wizard. Just like Gavin's a pinball wizard. Why?
Oh, I know.
Ooh, oh, I think I get it. You're...
I step away from my quiet corner and approach the group. It's time to take back control over my dream. And that starts here.
Okay, who's got the poison?
I like the bottom answer, but we're not allowed to try it.
So instead, let's pick the top answer. So, is this really the end of the road? Are we gonna sit back and let Dago party on the... I can't speak, apparently. I spoke too much yesterday, now I can't speak.
Well, that sounds like a you problem, and you should just get over it. Continue speaking, because it's your line.
I'm not playing Getting Over It, that's a different game. Are we going to sit back and let Dago party in the corpse of the complex?
The crowd hushes when I grab their attention. I set my drink aside and step up to them. What are their stats at anyway? Okay, Bulls is catching up to Kind.
Yes. Remembering the good times is great and all, but I'm not done letting the good times roll, and I'm not rolling over in defeat for Dago Nami or anyone. I see around me the best, the brightest minds capable of striking back against the man who ruined everything. All we need is 4 balls, some games, and our moxie. My friends, we're opening up an arcade, and I won't take no for an answer. Are you with me?
No.
That's not an answer!
Excuse me, I thought we talked about how consent isn't important in all contexts. A hush falls over the crowd before 2 friends step up to join me.
Such fire.
Such fire! How dare Hamza, despite being he of the iron will, not bend in the face of such overwhelming passion?
Yeah.
Fuck yes! Now this is what I'm talking about! The 4 Heavenly Kings will be in your corner, kid. Let's go kick Dako's ass!
You've got my thanks, both of you. Okay. This is no longer a wake intervention, people. Now it's conspiracy!
Woo!
A Wachter conspiracy.
A wake intervention conspiracy? It's a wake intervention conspiracy. Sure, why not?
We settled down around a table, a nice round one to discuss the future. I'm leading the show, but I don't take the spotlight. Not this time. We have to all work together to make this dream a reality. This is it. The next few decisions are going to be critical in shaping the future I have in my mind's eye. I'll need to choose very, very carefully, because there's no take-backsies.
So that's when we hit the save button. Iris is looking for spaces we can use. We're going to need money, obviously, and arcades are risky startups. I could always respond to one of the many Nigerian princes emailing me as offered, but I'm thinking more traditional funding is safer. The way I see it, there's 4 people here who could foot the bill to get us off the ground. 4?
Percy, obviously, right?
Yes.
Hamza. I'm gonna take a wild shot and say maybe Gavin and Queen Bee.
Maybe who?
Maybe Gavin or Queen Bee.
Maybe.
Because Gavin's the most money intelligent. In terms of like running a business. I don't know in terms of him personally, but Iris also mentioned something about his family before, so I'm kind of curious. And Queen Bee is now like a hot shot member of like the super elite gaming team. So she might have money now. So those are my guesses.
Hamza, you've got a tangled web of connections in the industry, access to games, and plenty of cash, and a freewheeling whimsy to spend it.
Hamza must consider this.
Hamza is a man of resources, indeed.
Percy, you've been building a charity word chest for when you pass. I know an arcade isn't a sound investment, and it's hardly a charity, but...
You promised me Mr. Moopy would always have a home. If I can help restore that home, I'm game love. Oh!
Okay. Then and that, you two know how to run a small business. You've got invaluable knowledge and resources we can draw from, if you're willing to dip a toe in this industry.
We have been looking for new horizons to conquer.
New lands to explore.
But there would be caveats.
Terms, conditions,
Terms.
Conditions.
Exceptions. Exceptions.
Rules,
Guidelines.
best practices.
Worst practices.
That's not a thing.
Oh.
I'm just gonna let them read it.
Oh, did they? I didn't even hear it.
Oh yeah, they went through all the words.
Okay.
They went through the entire line. They also went through the entire previous line. They have much better flow than we do.
Okay, well, we're also not in person.
Yes, and not practiced or anything.
Yeah.
Coming across these lines for the first time.
Hamza would likewise have
Exactly.
conditions.
Hamza would likewise have conditions. As would I.
Understandable, of course. Let me hear your thoughts, then I'll decide.
Decision number 1. Funding and direction. You know, I'm gonna make a real save. Even though we're gonna be doing this, like, game over and over again, I'm still like, oh no, our first run through, we gotta...
We have to make it perfect!
In order for me to back your play, Hamza would require you to strike at the very heart of Daikonomi's empire
I don't have the poison ready.
and open a family restaurant alongside your arcade. Take from him the very business he adores so much.
Don't you think? We don't know the first thing about running a restaurant. Who's the cook?
Thankfully, your business partner does. I own several restaurants. I would provide staffing and resources.
Okay.
No risk, no reward.
Now, this is a risky play, but if it succeeds, the rewards shall be tremendous! Actually, that's similar to what Matt and I had in mind.
Oh, yes. Rather than a restaurant, well, we'd like to open a barcade.
I've always wanted to run a bar.
I'd raise a glass to that idea.
After all, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
They've always gotten the game.
Now, it wouldn't be nearly as large scale as a family restaurant. Much safer.
Not quite as profitable, but still quite tiny.
Honestly, I'd prefer if you simply ran a video arcade and nothing more. Adding on extras seems like a recipe for failure. We know how to operate a simple, small-scale arcade, so why not stick with our strengths? I'll grant it has a lower ceiling for success than the others. It's just an arcade and won't pull in anybody looking for more. Low risk, low reward. But I'd say that would be my condition. We need to stick to the basics. So, take the big gamble on a family restaurant, or make a cozy little barcade, or just go with a classic video arcade. This decision is going to affect the entire direction of the new venture. What do I want? What's my dream?
What is your dream?
I mean, if this was something that I personally in real life was going to be involved with, barcade all the way!
I knew that.
But, I mean, that's a very medium answer. The risk-averse part of me is like, yeah, Percy's right. We already know how to do this. And, like, we know for a fact that'll be successful because we already made it successful in the Funplex. Because it's the same people involved as the Funplex, right? It's just not owned by Francine anymore.
Yes.
But, I mean,
Destroy
stealing Daiko's restaurant business? That sounds fun.
Destroy Daiko.
And, I mean, we're not just, like, we chose earlier, like, so, we're not just gonna let Daiko party in the Funplex corpse. Oh no. We're gonna fucking murder his dreams. Not murder him. It's more fun to crush someone's spirit.
Can we murder him after we crush his spirit?
Hmm?
Can we murder him after we crush his spirit?
No. You see, what you do is, you don't kill him, you ruin his life so badly he wants to kill himself.
Wow.
I'm a terrible person. But it's a traceless murder. I mean, we didn't do anything. We just became successful. We just took his business away and stuff. But that's not our fault. We were just running a successful business. That's a cost of capitalism.
I mean, you are leaning towards the exact answer I wanted to do because I just want to screw up a Dago.
So what you're saying is that when Daco is involved, you
Yeah.
become a Boldly.
Screw Dago. Hamza, I think we can do business. We'll make a combination arcade and family restaurant.
I will also say that Hamza, as an investor, does have the most connections.
Yes.
Can most easily fill out our arcade, because right now we have 2 games and that's it.
Yes.
Hamza can help fill in the rest of that with his like auction things. He just would set some aside for us and has most connections with other arcades and stuff and all of that.
Get the word out and everything.
Yeah. Such is the iron will of Hamza! You will not regret this.
A butterfly appears on screens. Hamza will remember this.
A bit disappointing, but we'd still be happy to lend a hand where we can.
Absolutely.
Having Mr. Moopy available for families to enjoy would be nice, actually.
Exactly. Get a whole generation playing movie, Percy.
Remember, that teenage girl who couldn't play Moopy for real. She'll get to play real Moopy.
Yeah. Okay. The second thing we need to talk about is what sort of games you want to focus on. The Funplex did a little bit of everything, and we will too. We want to include all gamers. But we can also highlight one style of play or another. Really provide best-in-class gaming for a specific audience. Any thoughts?
Decision number 2. Game focus.
Sweet.
Retro games. It's gotta be all about retro games. You know I'm capable of keeping those older games in tip-top shape. If we focused on retro games, we could serve an audience that Dago's completely ignoring.
That is true.
I would agree with Miss Fairchild. Retro games are an untapped market. I'll grant it wouldn't pull in as much profit, but we know gamers are seeking them. We don't have to make all the money, just enough to keep our pure and untainted dream afloat, and we can do that with a well-curated retro game library.
No way.
Retro's cool and all, but let's talk esports games! They'll draw money better than jamming a magnet up your ass and dragging you through Fort Knox. Get a couple good fighters, more than one FOD, some race and dance games. The kind of stuff where folks can compete head to head, and we're golden!
I have to agree with Queen Babe. You can play retro games on emulators and consoles, but you can't duplicate the community experience of an arcade at home. If we had an esports focus, we could build something together, which works as a second home for all sorts of gamers. Why?
I'm like, oh, esports, a home for all gamers? Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Just, you know, for the fact that esports doesn't exactly have a reputation of being inclusive and diverse and welcoming.
It does not. That is true. I think you know what I'm going to suggest. Redemption and prize games. They provide excellent profits. It's the core of Dago's business model, yes. But I think if we focus on those games, we can do them right. No predatory pricing, no scams or rip-offs. And the truth is, most people enjoy them. From kids wanting to buy that big prize, to the wistful adults recapturing their childhood dreams of playing skee-ball on the boardwalk. They're simple to play, and most of all fun. If they're done right, we can make meaningful memories for everyone. And prizes! Did I mention the prizes? We can stock the shelves with the coolest prize around. Better than Dago's prizes, which fall apart 2 minutes after you get them.
Which matches my ideal arcade more? We'll have all 3, sure, but do we emphasize retro games, esports, or prize games?
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that, much as I called out the esports thing, the idea of this arcade was that we want to have, like, a community again. and we want
Yeah.
to be able to have a community space. And Queen Bee and Teo are the ones who mentioned, like, community. Like, in the, I guess, sort of practical sense of having community without necessarily sacrificing, like, money and popularity. Because Naomi and Percy want retro, and retro gaming has its own sort of community thing. But, as they said, they'll get some gamers, but it's not as popular
No.
broadly.
And we're still gonna have retro games. It's just
Yeah,
like
we're still gonna
go
have
on
them.
away.
Naomi will not be put out of a job, unlike Daiko.
No. She's just gotta learn to fix FOD and a bunch of other stuff.
I mean, if she knows how to fix, like, the really old games with much older hardware and everything, I am sure that the newer games are probably easier for her to fix.
Yeah.
Because they probably have, like, more modern parts, they're more more readily available.
No need to duct tape it together.
Duct tape is the answer to everything. But what are you thinking?
I was going towards anything but 3.
Yeah, I mean, I love Gavin,
Like,
and
that-
Ashley's
that-
got a cute point, but
technically
feels
that would
trashy.
That would get a lot of money, but it feels too much like we're aiming specifically at putting that dagger in Dago Palace's heart.
Well, not only that, but, like, it's not just about profit, and everyone kind of likes them. It's about, like, what do people love? Like, I don't want to say nobody loves prize and redemption ticket game things, but, like, nobody, I feel like, loves them the way they like
Yeah, they're
retro
like,
gaming
oh,
or
let's play
esports.
them, but like, if
Yeah,
you
they
have-
enjoy them. They're enjoyable, sure. They're kind of fun or whatever. And they make money, but that's not the point here.
But if you have
Our point isn't
retro
to-
game from their childhood, if you have a game that like people can play together, that
Hmm.
is going to be better. Off
Yeah,
for
and
everyone.
like, the whole point of this is not to make a copy of Daiko's Palace but more true to us. It's to make Funplex but better.
yes,
To compete with Daiko's Palace.
yes.
So, yeah, I agree. Not the last one. I have a slight leaning towards number 2. So,
I was going either one or 1 or 2. I would be like, yes, I agree.
all right, let's do the esports one because it is safer money-wise between the two and a little bit more of a large community thing to help keep us afloat.
Thumbs up. Arcades are
Also,
all
I
about-
love these two.
I mean, yeah. Arcades are all about healthy communities. We can build it, unlike what Dago has. If we can build an esports scene around the new arcade, we'll have regulars and healthy competition. I'm game for that.
Hot damn! Now this is a plan! A choice, kid!
Gosh dang it, Teo. My body's ready for this next dance.
There's something in his eye again.
Of course there is. There's
I
always-
think the sand followed him from the beach.
It's stuck in his eye. Okay, so that's money in games. Now, let's go beyond what we already had at the Funplex. Even though we're already going beyond, let's go even farther beyond. Let's really make this something special.
Decision number 3. New projects.
Build our own game!
I
wanted
mean, possibly. Teo has the connection to the indies.
It does. I wanted to find a feature for our arcade. One which will make it stand out. Something nobody else is doing. Something nobody's even thought of before. All ideas are on the table. If it was too outlandish for the Funplex, it's not too outlandish for me, because I'm an outlandish person. Show me what you got.
Well, I mean, I'm not really a part of this, but
Come on. You're my best friend and 100% a part of this. I couldn't be here in this moment if it wasn't for you.
Also, she already did the what was it? Funplexapalooza flyers?
Yep, she did. Come on, Juniper. What's your idea?
Branding. The
Branding?
new design firm I joined is okay, but it's not like I enjoy designing new corporate logos for fruit companies and stuff. What if I came and worked for you instead? Be your brand manager. An arcade needs really stellar image management to stand out from the rest, like the event poster I made for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's making new logos for the Pineapple Computer Company.
No, she's only making them for real fruit companies.
Okay.
The
Ooh.
Digital Pineapple Company.
Hey, Juniper, I can add to that. What if we work together? I was thinking of designing a new mascot costume anyway, but I could collaborate and coordinate with you on how it'll tie into the visuals for the rest of the arcade.
Yeah! It's a winning combination. Ashley and I can do great work together coming up with some really stellar branding and marketing. We'll stand out in the crowd. Well, I know exactly what sort of project I'd want us to do. Streamer support. Assembling and packing away my streaming rig each day is ridiculous, and duct taping a webcam in front of a screen is a lousy hack. If I could just step right up to a game and, I don't know, swipe a card or something and be streaming with a direct feed in seconds, well, I can think of a dozen streamers who just flock to our place to get a piece of that.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I know how we could do that. I could rig up a general-purpose daughter board which plays man in the middle with the video feed, works with an RFID reader to get a streamer's info, ties into a central video encoder on the Wi-Fi network. Yeah, I could make that happen, and without damaging any classic hardware. Once more in English, please? I know software, not hardware. We stick a thingy in the thingy and everything works just fine. I'm sure there's some legal and copyright issues to tackle, but if we can do it, let's be the world's first streaming arcade! I was thinking, well, if the reason why older games are considered a dead end is that they don't work in the ticket game ecosystem, why not add ticket output to normal games? We could reward skilled players with prize tickets based on their high score or speed of completion. With the right balancing, we could make old games just as desirable as new ones.
Perhaps.
As Naomi said, there may be legal hurdles to clear, but I'm in favor of this idea. What?
Oh, just examining who we need points with.
Yeah.
We got these two up to tied with Gavin now, so but these two are on separate answers.
Yeah. And Percy's on a separate answer.
Percy's
With
on Gavin's, Naomi's on Queen Bee,
And
and
not there.
Juniper's not on the thing.
Yeah. It's not that I love prize games. I find them boring, personally. You know I favor pinball, but profit is the lifeblood of an arcade, and prize games are profitable. If we can get Loopy producing tickets, well, that's something nobody's ever done before.
Except for the Moopy ticket game.
Yeah, except for that stupid movie ticket game.
But they're talking about doing tickets
Like
on real
actual
Moopy,
Moopy.
which would be interesting, I guess? I don't know. Interesting. But as much as I'd love to do all three, I doubt we have the money or time for that. Let's focus on one project to launch our arcade with. Do we want to have really good branding, or streamer support, or retrofit tickets on old games? Thoughts?
Sorry, Gavin. I'm like, please, no more tickets. Please, please, no more tickets.
I mean, I'm less opposed to that one than I was to focusing on ticket games.
But I don't know. for me, kind of the streaming one kind of just stood out. I don't know. The branding, sure, maybe.
It's one of those things that's like important, but it's not sexy to talk about.
Exactly.
Like it's
of
not
course-
exciting. It's not the glamorous one unless you're in branding and marketing.
Like, of course, we need good marketing and everything. A mascot, okay, yeah, sure, that'd be nice. But it's not something that's like a woo, like woo everybody over like the other two would be.
Sort of. It's okay. To put it a better way, it isn't flashy in wooing people the same way. If it's effective, no one will even notice, but it will be effective. That's the thing, right? That's the thing with marketing and branding, is that it's not like, ooh, wow, I'm so amazed by this arcade's marketing, I'm gonna go. It's, oh, wow, this arcade looks really interesting because of that branding.
But I don't know, me personally, I'm like, kind of like the first big game on me. How about you?
I don't have a strong preference towards any of them. Honestly, despite the fact that we are currently streaming, I don't really care that much about like the streaming setup stuff that they're talking about. I mean, I'm not into esports and not really into watching people stream esports stuff personally. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever, okay. I think that Percy and Gavin, because it's Percy and Gavin, have the most practical one in terms of like profit and stuff. That doesn't necessarily make these things more fun. It just like makes it more popular, I guess. Because people will want to play for tickets. I think that, again, branding is a less glamorous route, but it is incredibly important. Like, imagine a really shitty flyer versus the one that Juniper made, and yeah, you're gonna go to the one with the nicer flyer.
The big difference between our original flyer for Funplex Blues and Junipers?
We didn't even get to see the original.
I thought we saw the original one.
No, we saw Juniper's.
I thought we saw the original one too.
No.
Oh.
They just described it.
It was the way they described it. It wasn't good.
I was using Comic Sans. Everyone likes comics, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So.
I guess my if I had to lean one way or another, I would say that from a practical on points standpoint, Ashley and Naomi are lowest. Queen Bee is tied for top. Juniper's not on the board, and we don't really get to see very much of her right now. So if we did Juniper and Ashley's, we might have more of an opportunity to interact with Juniper, and Ashley's points would go up from being at the bottom.
That is very true.
And much as it's not flashy with the streaming stuff, or compared to the streaming stuff, like branding and marketing is super important and could make a really big impact.
And we get a new mascot. And we get a new mascot. No more Pinky.
Tell Juniper, no flamingos.
No pink flamingos, please.
No pink, preferably. Juniper's probably not going for no pink. It's true. Her color is pink.
Her color is pink. So I mean, I don't.
So if we're in terms of what we're tilting
Points,
towards,
yeah.
it's the first or second.
Go with the first. Points. We need to stand out from the pack. That means strong graphic design and a great mascot. No Pinky. Can't think of anyone better suited than Juniper and Ashley.
And then Juniper gets to leave her medium job that we recommended to her and have a job that she's way more into. Yeah, you won't regret this, Crunk. I got ideas.
I'll make the ultimate cosplay. My masterpiece. My Mona Lisa. Just you wait and see.
Our mascot is literally Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa. Nah. She'll dress up as the Scream. And just stand at the entrance.
Oh my god. No, she won't stand at the entrance. She'll just randomly stand in the shadows. She'll be Slender Man and randomly stand in the shadows.
One more thing.
Final decision. The name.
This is going to be my baby, my dream arcade. Got a name already in mind for it. So, barring any objections, I'd like to welcome you all to...
Spending the next 10 minutes debating on the name. Ah.
30 characters! It's a long game. Well, what is our new arcade's name?
Not Arcade Spirits.
Aww. We're not using the name of the game?
No. You know, if we had gone with the barcade idea, I'd been like, okay, sure, let's do it. But we're a family restaurant. We're not serving spirits.
Okay. Fine. When we go with the actual barcade answer one of the times, we'll do that.
Yes.
What? So we can be Chuck E. Cheese?
No. That's already trademarked, remember?
Chuck E. Cheese trademark. And what is our name? Show phone. Do you have any ideas?
Thinking.
A number between 1 and 12?
Processing.
Beep.
Processing. Processing.
Okay, Iris.
Processing. You're the one who does her voice. I do the other Iris's voices.
Processing order. Please come back in 13 minutes.
Sounds about right.
That's why I said it. Here we go again!
Hi, Malik!
Why is it for you purple and for me yellow?
Huh?
Yellow-orange.
Because if it hasn't been purposely set, it changes randomly. Like if you refresh your page, Malik will show up as another other color.
See, I set mine. My personal one.
Yeah, I mean, we set ours on the stream to be a purple, I think, right?
I think so.
That's why every time we talk in here, it's purple.
Because purple.
Because aces.
Yeah. For you it's red, okay. Do you have an arcade name? For a restaurant arcade? Restaurant?
Crunk Spankle bottoms up.
Would that even fit?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, 30 characters is a lot.
That's such a dumb name. Oh my gosh.
That would also be more fitting for a barcade.
Be more what?
That would also be more fitting for a barcade.
Then do it.
No, because we're not doing a barcade.
Aww.
Look, we made the choices that we made.
We made the choices. What would be good for an esports restaurant arcade?
Restaurant of Legends.
Restaurant Watch? Arcade Watch?
Alright, we've got Fist of Discomfort and Showtime Stage and some words to do with restaurants and food. Fist of Burger Face.
Sorry, we're not playing Burgers Up or Orders Up. Wait, what's it? Oh no, Burger Time?
Burger Time. Food Stage Mania. It's like, and I've already got a name in mind. No, we don't. No, we don't. Kronk, why are you lying?
Every time, Kronk, why do you do this to us?
We'll name it Krunk and Busters.
Krunk is dumb. Krunk's an idiot arcade.
No, Krunk and Busters.
Krunk Buster. Who's Buster?
Krunk and Queen Bees?
But House is our business partner.
Huh?
But House is our business partner.
Bee and Hamza.
Then Krunk's not involved.
Krunk doesn't need their name in it. We'll just name it Hamza's Fury.
Just name it Funplexa.
No, that was an event.
But we are the event now.
No.
No?
No, but you're right. Whatever is the new name of the arcade has to be something Palooza-able.
Yeah, here we go again was right.
We're bad at making decisions about names, okay?
You're very bad. Why did we do this to ourselves?
Well, I mean, we didn't do this to ourselves. The game was like, what's the name of the new arcade? And we went, oh god, fuck.
Like, I know the name. I've had it in the back of my mind forever.
Hmm?
Since day one of starting at the Funplex, I knew I'd make an arcade called this. So restaurant, can you draw inspiration from the signature?
But we don't have a signature food. Also, I just really want to make parody names of Dave and Buster's now.
You want burgers? Go get a burger. I mean, not right now, but like, go get a burger. The signature food is arcade esports games. Quack. Quack. Quack.
Duck Hunt is a classic game. Wait,
NES.
but we didn't focus on retro games. Shit!
For the NES, not the arcade.
Shh. They only said retro games.
That's fair. Wah. Fist and burgers? Kansas with burgers? Discomfort and burgers! Go with it, just go with it. Discomfort and burgers. That sounds like us.
I just... At this point, I just really want to stick with the Dave and Buster's, like, D&B to make fun of it. We're making fun of Dave and Buster's already, right? We might as well parody them. Flower's gonna show up some other time and just be like, the fuck did you two do?
Flower's gonna be like, so what kind of arcade? Guys!
You're supposed to be taking down Dave and Buster's.
Not creating your own Dave and Buster's.
We didn't create our own Dave and Buster's. We can't create discomfort and burgers.
Go with it. Just go with it. Why do people watch us?
Because of stupid shit like this.
I think that took a little bit less than 10 minutes this time.
Only barely. No, but imagine saying like, oh, where are you going for dinner tonight? Oh, I'm thinking of going to Discomfort and Burgers.
Discomfort and burgers? Where's that? It's
Why are you going to a restaurant that has discomfort in the name?
It's on the corner right next to,
Just why would you go to a restaurant that has discomfort in the
I was gonna
name?
make a Barnes and Noble joke, but I can't think up a good name to make fun of Barnes and Noble.
Books and notebooks.
I was gonna say, Silos and Lords.
Boop. Yep, we're doing it.
That works!
Discomfort and burgers.
Discomfort and burgers! Let's go! Discomfort and burgers!
Discomfort and burgers.
And now it's like, okay, peace out, I'm good!
Like, hi, Malik. Okay, bye, Malik. We probably
Discomfort and
scared you
burgers.
away. I am looking forward to hearing everyone show their approval of Discomfort and burgers.
It's like, Hideko's like, what is this new arcade that is ruining my business? What's it called? Discomfort and burgers.
The discomfort is for him.
The discomfort is real.
We'll hit Dako with a fist of discomfort.
I like it. We can work with that. Maybe. Let's hear it for Discomfort and burgers.
This is too stupid. Why have we done this? This is so fucking stupid.
Trunk Spangle Bottom.
Yeah, you're gonna crack up every time at Crunk Spankle Bottom, and I'm gonna crack up every time at Discomfort and Burgers.
Bottom now owns Discomfort and Burgers.
Our home lives again. How exciting! Fuck yeah!
A toast then?
One by one, everyone raises their glasses. I fetch my room temperature drink and raise mine high in turn.
Now let's get super drunk!
Just because that's what I would say in real life doesn't mean that's what Crunk is gonna say,
Nope,
okay?
Let's get super drunk.
No!
Let's get super drunk! Come on! Let's do it!
What? Let's do this right?
No. No, let's get super drunk.
Fine.
Yes! It's a party, right? Let's get blind drunk and celebrate. For Discomfort and Burgers and the future!
For Discomfort and Burgers! Woo! Discomfort and Burgers! losing everything, then getting it all back, and then some. It's been a roller coaster of a week, to be sure. But I can't rest now. Absolutely not. I need to take charge of this project, and my life in general. I have to do for them what Francine did for us. That's okay. I'm ready. I'm willing.
For discomfort.
And this is our time.
Level
God, that's
up.
such a fucking stupid name!
You've cleared level 6 of Arcade Spirits. A winner is you. Now let's see your score. You're proving to be a gentle, sweet, and compassionate soul. every time. Also, you scored 17,100 points. Woohoo!
Yeah, I gotta get my bold and steady up so that I no longer have to choke every time we get to the end of the
You're
chapters.
the only one who chose.
Yeah, so I no longer have to choke. That's what I said.
Shops in the volcano-devastated city of Pompeii bear the characteristics of a pizzeria. That's a neat, if a bit depressing, pizza fact just for you.
That is kind of neat.
It is. Do you want to save your game before proceeding to level 7? Yeah, sure. Even though
I'm gonna save over this one, but not that one.
Yeah. Yeah. A winner is you.
Oh
New
boy.
Game Plus? Thought we were joking about that.
Hmm?
Level 7 is New Game Plus.
Look, it's a flower.
Hey, flowers!
In fact, it's 2 flower.
Not 3 flowers?
No, just 2 flower.
See, New Game Plus.
Whoa! And we thought we were just kidding.
That's
Oh,
what
fuck.
I said!
It is the distant future year 20XX. And for the first time, I am entirely in control of my destiny. I'm no longer merely working in an arcade. Now I'm working on my future. Which, admittedly, still involves working in an arcade. But still, my future! I'll admit, it feels weird. I'd grown so used to going with the flow, letting life batter and bruise me, that having a true and honest hand on the controls is a bit terrifying. Everyone's counting on me to keep the flame of Miss Francine's Funplex alive as we move into the era of discomfort and burgers. And, well...
Discomfort. Discomfort. Discomfort.
Gross. I'm nervous. Who wouldn't be? There's so much riding on the success of discomfort and burgers. Not just a paycheck, but the hopes and dreams of all of my friends. I keep waiting for the universe to wake up and notice that I'm on a roll. If fickle fate could take away the Funplex, what could it do to discomfort and burgers? I know that's hardly a constructive attitude to have, but anxiety is rarely a logical thing. You can know the truth, while your nerves tell you something else entirely. Now all that's left is to get through opening day without incident. I arrived early that morning to go over any last-minute preparations and make sure everything is in order. Plus, Juniper was sick of watching me pace back and forth at home after breakfast, so she lovingly shoved me out of the apartment and told me to be productive.
Fair.
Now I stood in awe of the building, the dream I poured my heart and soul into. I still barely believed it myself. I paused a moment to let the reality finally hit me, and then stepped into my destiny.
Wait. That image changed. Popped in. The back. Oh, no, it changes. That's cool.
Yes? Yes.
No.
Yes.
No!
Yes!
Wrong!
Where the fuck is Wyvern Keep?
Dead.
Oh, but Naomi can fix it. Pushing open the doors to discomfort and burgers, I was greeted by relative peace and quiet. Just the beeps and boops and people moving about doing last-minute preparations. We traveled a long and arduous road ever since the great Wake-Turvanspiracy. Gavin secured us a great rental space, an abandoned pizza place with that all-too-familiar triangular roof. Nobody else wanted it, but we didn't care about the funny shape. Quirk is in our favor. And I really couldn't have done all the renovations this place needed without the help of our financial benefactor. Hamza proved true to his word, fronting us as much money as we needed to make this happen. Now we've got a family restaurant and arcade to rival Daco's Palace. Well, okay, it's very small compared to Daco's Palace, but quality over quantity.
Exactly.
We went with a familiar layout, if it ain't broke and all that, to show that we've still got the spirit and passion that made the Funplex great. But it's not all a carbon copy. We've got a few new additions that Francine would even be proud of. The video wall is a nice touch. That one was my idea. It alternates between running music videos, game promos, and high-score leaderboards. We also repainted and did a general update on all the appliances and fixtures to give it a more finished feel and less of a retired pizza place turned arcade vibe. Teo and Queen Bee worked together to pick out a few key games that appeal to the esports community. We've got fighting games, racing games, shooting games, dancing games. You want head-to-head action? We got it! Granted, we still have a decent selection of other stuff too, so all tastes are catered to. But Queen Bee is confident that this will pull in the fighting game community as well as the MOBA community. I still have no idea what a MOBA is aside from Fist of Discomfort like, but Queen Bee assures me it's hot shit right now. Juniper and Ashley really nailed our grand experiment into unique branding. It's completely on point. By spearheading our advertising campaign, the buzz is building. Our hype train is pulling in passengers of all sorts, and the imagery they've created will ride with them long after they've left. Definitely the right call to make.
Chill.
All of my decisions, all of my choices made discomfort and burgers what it is. It's so stupid! Every fucking time!
Discomfort and burgers.
I'm trying so hard to keep a straight face.
Oh my gosh, I love how stupid it is.
Of course you do. So much labor and love went into the project from all of us, and now all that's left is to officially open these doors. But before that fateful hour begins, I still want to do one last check on operations, just in case. The restaurant side of this equation proved to be very complicated. I'd go cross-eyed trying to parse the numbers of that side of the business. Hopefully it wouldn't drive us to bankruptcy, or the arcade wouldn't bankrupt the restaurant, or both at the same time. Hark! The great Hamza senses concern from his business partner.
Perfection.
Rest assured, Kronk Spanklebottom, that Hamza has seen to all that requires seeing to. Our delicacies shall ring true across taste buds across this city.
What if some of your customers don't really have working taste buds?
What? They had COVID? Sorry, we're taking temperature checks at the front.
I didn't have COVID.
You said, what if the customers don't have working taste buds? And one of the symptoms early on, I think, of COVID is that you lose your sense of smell and taste. So maybe you just inherently have COVID.
Did I have COVID from childhood?
Before COVID-19?
Like, are you saying that I am just walking COVID?
I hope not. You're still going into work. You've been taking public transit.
I have been.
You better not be walking COVID.
I'm not sure I would consider burgers and buffalo wings as delicacies.
Hamza is aware we shall never earn 5 stars with our cuisine, but we shall be the pinnacle of deep-fried foodstuffs. Today, Hamza will oversee operations. Beyond this opening day, I leave you in the hands of my capable chefs and waitstaff.
But you'll be in touch, right? I'd hate to have you jet off to Istanbul, not Constantinople, and suddenly everything's on fire. I love that.
That's extra funny after rewatching Umbrella Academy Season 1.
Oh my gosh.
That's Istanbul, not Constantinople.
That song's gonna be stuck in my head now.
No matter what corner of the globe Hamza's travels take him to, he can be summoned at the speed of light. Well, at the speed of air travel, really. And now, back to my kitchen. Our glorious future together in business awaits.
Is Hamza part of Team Rocket?
Hamza claps twice before leaving in a flourish. Okay, being partners with Hamza is going to take some getting used to. Running a restaurant and an arcade is riskier than I thought it'd be, but for all his quirkiness, he knows business, right? He's rich. Rich people are smart, right? Well, I mean, he's rich by his own making, so yes. People who are just inherit money are not necessarily smart.
Pengy Pin!
Yeah.
Aw, no, the thing had a high score for Pengy Pin.
Yeah, I saw it earlier.
Aw.
Fast Cars 5.
Yee.
Cali track. Jen, Bob, VTA, NDY, Elgin. After my quick check-in, I notice the clock. Its unforgiving hands tell me that it's not long now. Okay. Breathe, Crunk. Calm down. Everything's clearly under control.
Hyperventilating time.
There's no need to freak out. You're just mistaking excitement for terror. This is exciting. It's a happy day. The first day of discomfort and burgers. You can do this. You can do this. Boo.
Yeah.
You're always so nice. I don't like it. No, with all of us working together, we can do this. As long as no unforeseen problems pop up. Because
You mean like
business
Deiko
ownership
walks in the
never
door?
includes unforeseen problems.
What if Deiko walks in the door? Who are we guessing who?
I don't know. I think we have to guess who before.
Guess who?
And that's when someone snuck up behind me and covered my eyes.
Is it Ashley? Guess again. Is it former President William Henry Harrison, who only held office for 31 days before dying of pneumonia? Not quite. Hi, Jennifer.
Nice.
You guessed it! Good for you. Thanks for reading my lines because we didn't know who it was. I thought I'd pop by here for a bit, see how the grand experiment is going. Have you seen Ashley's new cosplay yet?
She's keeping it under wraps for now.
With all the decorating we've been doing, all the advertisements I've drafted up, and Ashley's work on the cosplay, well, I just know discomfort and burgers is gonna soar.
Just like our discomfort.
And burgers.
Yeah.
Our burgers will soar.
We got flying burgers.
You know, you've got a lot of people out there waiting to get in. Are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
I'm proud of you, Kronk. Seriously, you've come a long way from that sad sack who just shuffled from job to job. You've really built something amazing here. Good to hear, considering my nerves have been twitching all day.
Rich?
Having an outside perspective helps me keep things in, well, perspective.
What? Twitch?
Yes, we're twitching.
Ah, yes, we are twitching right now.
Does anyone say that?
No. No.
They just say we're streaming.
Nobody says that. Like, that is not a thing. It's not a thing. No.
No.
Thanks. It was a team effort, really. I couldn't have done all this by myself.
Definitely.
Yep. And I'm glad I was on board with it from the start. I mean, if you didn't have me around to pick up after you, this place would be a total dump, right?
What?
You know, because you. Because you're kind of a slob, yeah? Yeah. I mean, how often do I have to go picking up your underwear and socks that you just sort of toss all over the place? Hey now, I know I'm not perfect, but Juniper's really laying it on thick. I can feel the sting right in my unwashed hoodie.
Get
But-
the game on.
Seriously.
Throw clay.
Hmm?
Nothing. Nothing. Um. So, Okay. Yeah! I have to clean up my fair share of your messes, too. You do like missing the laundry hamper with your 3-point jump shorts.
Jump shorts.
Jump shots.
Also,
shorts.
I kind of figured the other one might be kindly, so.
Come on.
Yeah, jump shorts.
If we were doing a free throw challenge, I'd be beating the pants off of you. 5-1, easily. The literal pants, which would be draped over the sofa for some reason. Like, who just sits down to watch TV and yanks their pants off right there and... Okay, don't answer that question. And don't even get me started on the dirty dishes everywhere. Plates crusted over with leftover dinner residue. Ew! This is going from good-natured roomy ribbing to uncomfortable very quickly.
Ah, there's discomfort. Where's the burger?
It's at the restaurant. We already went over that part.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it's my space too, you know? You could pick up after yourself more. Not rely on me to do all the cleaning around the place.
Juniper? How many years have we been living together?
I don't know, a few. Why?
So, why is this only coming up now?
Because until recently, I've had my hands full just trying to keep you from collapsing.
That's worrying.
Remember that week you spent mired in depression after losing the Funplex? Or the years before you found the Funplex and were drifting aimlessly? But now you found your dream, and this one isn't going to be taken away. So it's time to really step up, an adult like an adult.
Come on.
Not just an adult, but a business owner, a manager. You're responsible for so much more than you were before, and how you take care of yourself reflects on all of that. I mean, you're still wearing that ratty old hoodie. Look at Gavin! He's got a nice suit.
There's a rip in his pants. It's been there for ages.
Yeah, well, it's still way classier than the way you dress. My point is, you need to step up your game. Seriously. I can't help but feel a little ambushed here. It's not like she's wrong, but this is really, really weird timing.
Yeah, not the best timing. But also the second one. Can't we just say both?
I mean, more of this one. Ugh,
Yeah!
so gross. I'm never gonna be able to catch up. I'm gonna be at every end of chapter.
This is me not suggesting that one specifically. This was your kindliness.
I don't even feel like that's kindly.
Juniper, if you felt unhappy...
Just like earlier when I picked the anxious one. I'm like, why is that kindly? We're just anxious.
Why didn't you tell me before? We've got an open and honest relationship, right? We can communicate. All you have to do is tell me.
I'm constantly reminding you to do things around the apartment. Around our home. Fine, I shouldn't have dumped all this on you today. You're busy, you've got things to do. But come on! We share the same space now, more than ever before. You need to be more mindful of... Oh, never mind. We'll talk later, tonight, after you're done all your arcade things.
Juniper.
And she's gone.
Ooh.
Honestly, none of that should have come as a surprise. I haven't exactly been roommate of the year. I always had the excuse of being busy trying to pull my life together, but she's right. I need to step up. If I'm going to be a friend, a good friend, I need to respect her space. I need to respect myself. I need to... There's just so much I still need to do. I hate leaving this stewing, but... Well... I can't handle this right now. As much as I want to stop everything and sort through this mess, I've got a job to do today. There will be time later to patch things up with Juniper, presumably. I need to at least try to put this turmoil behind me so I can focus on the first day of discomfort and burgers with a smile. Despite reeling from that incident just now, despite my nerves, I'm ready to do this. Because I have to be ready. No choice. I've got big plans for the opening ceremony. I'm going to open the doors, give my prepared speech to the gathered masses, and stay on hand to greet gamers as they enter. Stepping to the forefront, I grasp the door handles and throw the gates to Discomfort and Burgers wide.
Welcome, friends, to Discomfort and Burgers.
Okay, Hamza.
Oh man, just the name. I don't know. Go with the first one.
I mean, I give you Discomfort and Burgers. That.
Go for it. I'm giving them Discomfort and Burgers.
Personally, I would just pick the last one here.
Bye.
Huh?
Bye.
I hate fun, you know.
Don't hate
There's no
fun.
but. I hate fun. I hate all of
Don't
these
hate
answers.
fun. Pick the first one. Give people discomfort. It's what I do best.
You know, we haven't chosen it basically in a long time.
Really?
Choose one here.
Really?
I do not like these answers.
We don't want to give people discomfort?
Discomfort and Burgers is now open for business.
Killjoy.
A feminist killjoy, in fact.
Discomfort and Burgers is now officially...
A stampede.
Dot.
I don't even have time to finish one line of my big dramatic speech. The crowd spills through the doors and runs right past me, eager to get to the games. Immediately, the arcade fills with the sounds of beeps and boops, games starting up, and people laughing with delight as they find their favorites. Well, there goes my entire opening ceremony plans out the window. I had all sorts of stuff planned, but if folks want to just get to gaming, who am I to argue? After a few minutes of final checks around the place, I decide to move into Phase 2, meet and greets around the arcade. I walk the arcade like I did in my floor attendant days, talking with folks and making sure everything's running smoothly. Discomfort and Burgers is my domain, open to my exploration. Where should I visit first? Discomfort or Burgers?
Oh no! Taylor's dance game crashed!
Is that where we should go?
Oh no! Fix the dance game!
Most of the time I'm drawn to Showtime stage because of the flashing lights and the hit beats, not because it's completely silent. No music at all. As I approach, I see Naomi feverishly working to fix it. Seeing the whole thing without tunes synced to its flashy lighting rig is kinda depressing. And listening to Naomi mutter as she works, she undoubtedly feels the same way. Oh, this was working fine earlier. Why isn't it working now? Ooh. Fortunately, Teo is proving surprisingly knowledgeable about the inner workings of his favorite game.
We may need to reimage the hard drive. I know some gray area websites where we can get a replacement copy of the files if needed. This is the third release version of Showtime Stage's software, right? Those are easier to come by than the more modern fourth version, oddly enough.
The files aren't the problem. I think the hard drive itself was damaged in shipping. And if so, well, you might not be able to dance at all today. I'd have to order a new part. I'm sorry, there were just so many games to get up and running, and I must have missed this ticking time bomb of a hardware failure.
Hey, it's cool. I don't need to get my groove on all the time.
Showtime Stage is one of our flagship games. It's flashy, it's exciting, and Teo's dance moves bring the crowd in. And hey look, it's a logo.
Yeah!
Getting it working for opening day is a priority.
Well, okay, Naomi.
know any sources for Showtime stage hard drives?
Okay, but like, points for name.
I know. And honestly, this is a probably more legal way of going about it. And we don't want to break the law on our first opening day.
Anyhow, this is the only game we have which uses a hard disk, right? Can we pull and reformat one from another game using Teo's files to make it a clone of Showtime Stage?
Well, it'd mean voluntarily disabling one of our other games, but... Wait, I know! Wild Rider! That piece of poop is always crashing on us, and it's not like it's very popular. Let's yank the drive from that and make it a Showtime Stage drive.
Yeah.
I could have that up and running in an hour.
Sounds perfect. I'll send you the files. Go get a bite to eat and be back in time to show everyone what a great dance community we've got here at Discomfort and Burgers.
I think this was a list of things he's doing, not telling her to go get a bite to eat.
Yeah.
So it'll take a bit of time, but we'll get our stage back in working order. Good. Maybe we'll get through opening day without any major problems aside from this. Before I go, I spot a gamer who's been watching, super curious about what's going on. I could swear I've seen this guy before. Maybe in a crowd or something.
Do you want a voice? Should I voice?
Do you know how many narration lines and Hamza lines I've had? My voice is shot.
I think the first 30 minutes was just you.
I don't think it was the whole 30 minutes, but for a while.
Hey, Showtime Stage really hosed. For now, yes, but we'll have it fixed up as soon as we can. Aw, man, I want to get my groove on. That's a bummer. You know, I might know a guy who knows a guy who can get you a replacement super cheap. Or like any game you want. Anything. As long as, you know, don't ask too many questions.
I'm number 2.
I'm number 2.
Generally, when people don't want questions asked, there's lots of questions which should be asked, yes?
Yeah, but I'm just full of questions. Why is the sky blue? Where do babies come from? Are you a cop? Those sorts of questions. But really, are you a cop? Hey, I'm not one of those pigs. No way. Don't worry about it. You need my connections. You just look me up, okay? I'll be here all day. I like this place. It's got a little bit of everything.
You're a teenager. What connection?
It's the Mafia. Especially all the old sweet PvP and esports stuff you've got. Kicking
Ass.
and taking names is my jam. I'll come back later to wow all the ladies with my hot style.
Alright, well make sure that Teo's here to whoop your ass during that. What? It's
Later.
true. When the Showtime stage one comes up on that one screen on the back, it's Teo at the top. Because of course it is.
Yeah.
That was odd. But as he fades back into the crowd, I decide to move on. Where should I visit next? Also, I don't think we actually got a point with Naomi for that.
We did. I saw it, we did.
Okay.
We got steady and one steady point and one point with Naomi.
I saw the study come up. I must have missed the Naomi one.
So, Ashley for points?
Yeah, I guess so.
Point hunting!
Yeah. Oh, see? There's Teo.
And
Ahead
then
by
me.
like 20,000 points. Near the center of the arcade, Ashley's showing off her new cosplay to Queen Bee.
Also, what's her...
Oh god!
Oh my gosh!
Wow. That's... just... wow. She's been keeping it a total surprise from all of us, working in secret on it. Impressive stuff! Seems to have attracted the attention of a brand new customer, at least.
That would attract attention, yeah.
Hey, look kid, a real-life in-the-wild newbie.
Hiya.
Welcome to Discomfort and Burgers. We're so happy to have you join us for opening day.
Well, I am uncomfortable.
Thank you.
Child. Yes, you, young one. Tell Crunk here what you told us.
That, I've, never used a joystick before in my life. I mean, I've mostly been to Diego's Palace or played games on my phone, touchscreens and stuff, that's all. Never really been much of a gamer, but all my friends are here today, so I was figuring I might try one out.
Whoa.
Never. Not even once played on a joystick. Can you believe it? Yes. We've all been there. No point in faulting them for it now.
Oh, but that's just too cute. To be young and innocent again. But don't worry at all. Discomfort and Burgers is the right place to learn. We are a friendly, inviting sort of arcade. No mad skills required. Here, it's all about having fun.
Oh yes. And you know what's super fun? Learning how to play Fist of Discomfort. Trust me. Want to go a few rounds? I'll even spot you some tokens. Seeing Queen Bee's con, Ashley quickly tries to offer something else. Oh,
Wow!
actually. Cool.
Wow!
I think they must only be about a point behind. Because
Yeah.
Queen Bee and Teo were tied with Percy earlier.
Or you could join me for a round or two of TMNT, trademark. Nothing like a friendly, cooperative brawler game to ease you into things.
No way.
Best way to learn is to jump head first into the deep end, I say. No regrets, just mashing buttons and moving that joystick. And when you're starting with the hottest title, you've got a built-in community to learn from, right at your fingertips.
Turtles! Turtles who are ninjas.
Looks like I might need to jump in and persuade this kid to choose a game. They look like a deer trapped in headlights. Stuck in the crossfire.
See, I actually agree with Ashley.
Why not play something simple? Try some Fast Cars 5!
I mean, I did actually agree with Ashley there. Playing with Queen Bee would,
I mean, they literally described it as a con, so.
yeah. Let's start you out right. 2 buttons, 1 stick, endless fun. Ashley, want to show our new friend the majesty of mutants named after famous painters? Yes! Ooh, do I? Let's go beat up some conveniently bloodless robot ninjas and get shell-shocked. Okay. Sure, lead the way.
Though I'm also a little bit like, is he meant to be creeping on her? He kind of looks like he's creeping on her.
Ashley, punch him if he creeps on you too much.
The
Punch,
newbie
punch him.
seems happy with this decision, even if it's just because they get to play with Ashley, who's a bit less intimidating. Ah, damn! I was looking forward to decimating that newbie quite a bit. In a good-natured way, of course. I'm still learning from my teammates in 4HK, and I'm eager to pass some lessons on. Okay, I'm going to go back to beating the crap out of fodder. You have fun out there, okay? You've earned this day through your blood, sweat, and tears. Hopefully more than blood than sweat and tears, but you get the idea. Time for me to move on.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey!
So it's just Naomi that's behind them.
Aw. But we're so close!
So close. Seeing as we decided to open the new arcade and restaurant in time for the lunch rush, it's difficult to spot Gavin and Percy in the crowd. But I managed to find them, having sandwiches and chatting. Tanked. Completely tanked.
Much obliged.
I'm glad for your little tip. I was ready to invest a good chunk of my pocketbook in that company. All my hard work would have tanked right alongside it.
This is par for the course. when my siblings snatch up technology companies. It's a pump and dump in essence. They stir up excitement in the acquisition, then drop it once you get those goals.
Ah, that's what they meant about his family. Also, isn't this insider trading? Ooh.
I've never seen one of their endeavors bear fruit for very long. Thanks to their short attention spans, I'm glad I could save you the heartache.
Apologies.
No offense.
I think I can handle a few accidental heart-related puns without going into cardiac arrest, my good fellow. But it's good to avoid a pothole on the road of finance, yes. All the better for the charities who will eventually profit from my own loss. I approached them in what seems to be a natural lull in the conversation, although talk of finances is in itself quite a downer.
So, stock market talk?
Ah, indeed.
Indeed. I like to do my trades in the morning before I come to the arcade. Get all that bother over with so I can focus on movie.
I'm afraid we're being astoundingly boring at the moment, Crunk. Just two overly serious gentlemen talking about finance. That's fine. I'm adulting at 110% efficiency today. That's like 20% efficiency of you guys. Having started a business myself, I should probably learn about how, like, money works.
Oh, what would you like to know about?
Taxes! Ah, yes, taxes. The
Yup.
best thing to learn about.
I mean, it is important. Although I'm also like, well, if Gavin is working for us, and it seems like he is, also an employee here, along with everyone else who used to work with us.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he probably be handling accounting and stuff on the tax side?
Yes.
Or is Crunk Spanklebottom taking a lesson from Santa Seaweed?
Ah, the embezzlement?
Yep.
Ah, yes. The
Embezzlement, tax evasion.
Ah.
Anyway.
So wait, is the arcade spirits gonna be the Spanklebottom family? Like how Dream Daddy was the Seaweed family, is this gonna be the Spanklebottom family?
Are we changing the name?
I don't know, are we?
We could, but you get such a kick out of every time they say Crunk Spanklebottom. And
Yes,
we did keep the name on several games for every run. Anyway, so I'm assuming this is Percy and this is probably Gavin.
Yes. I'd like to invest in our future. Think long term, Surviving for many years to come rather than jumping at the easy profit I can. Any tips?
I'm so glad that this is the pair is the steady pair, so I'm like, yes, either answer is fine. A fine view to take. My own investments are preferably long-term. Yes, I make moment-to-moment trades, but they're backed by the stability of stock bedrock. Even after I'm gone, I expect many of those to cash out gradually, and I've hired a phalanx of lawyers to carry out my wishes over the next, 30 years. Gavin, how about I show you my portfolio, give you some ideas for how to build up a nest egg for discomfort and burgers.
Thank you.
I'd be honored. I'll let you two handle the fine details. That's
Wait,
enough
but
adulting.
Crunk, we were supposed to be learning. You just asked to learn.
That's enough adulting.
The two sink deeper and deeper into conversation about currency exchanges, fiscal policy, tax rate changes, and I start to lose consciousness. I admire their passion, but there's only so much adulting I can handle in one day, and I need to reserve some for later. It's then that I notice raised voices at a nearby table. It's not really an altercation or an incident yet, but they are talking a bit louder than others. It's the teenage girl with the cool outfit!
Yeah! Miss I've run your credit card twice and it was declined twice.
Run it again. I'm telling you, it was working just fine earlier. I got tokens using it, see? See these tokens? Sensing an opportunity to provide excellent customer service and further prove my adulting chops, I step in to help.
Hello. Good morning. The manager here. Can I be of some assistance?
I'm, again, confused, but more so like, Crunk, you're not just a manager. Aren't you the owner?
I'm the manager here.
She looks awfully familiar. Have we met before? Oh, right. I invited her to check out my arcade, didn't I? Guess that's why she's here.
What's up?
Hey! Good to see you! Love what you've done with this place. Just love it! But something's wrong with your credit card readers. My card's legit. I was using it earlier with no issues, but now it's all messed up and stuff. Can you help me? I can pay cash if I gotta. I'm not trying to duck and run on you, but I'd really prefer to use the card.
Ooh. Thoughts? You pick.
The one that's better for the business is probably the top one. The nice thing to do would be to put it on the house. But I'm not trying to get any more kindly points, okay?
I know you're not trying to get kindly.
Kind of strange how her card isn't working. Not sure I want to really go too far with this. Better to trust the machine's design to verify transactions instead. I'll stick to the standard policy on this one.
Let's try the card again. I'm sure it was just a momentary outage.
Okay. She fidgets a bit, checking her smartwatch briefly, before passing the card over to be tested again. With a shrug, our employee passes it through the portable card reader again, and this time it beeps to indicate success. See? No problem. No problem at all. Hey, thanks for your help. Big thanks. I'm really looking forward to playing these games. I can't believe how much sweet retro stuff you have.
Happy to help.
Huh. I guess it really was just a momentary outage. With that matter settled, it's back to wandering the arcade. Where to next? Before I can continue my wanderings, because I've already wandered everywhere, Gavin pops up directly in my path.
Stop whatever you're doing and look towards the door without making it look like you're looking for anyone in specific. What? Okay. What am I pretending not to be looking for? Miss Jean Defame?
Sure.
Sure. Names. I have no idea who that is. The top arcade critic in the city. Her reviews can make or break an arcade easily.
There's top arcade critics per city?
Apparently.
There's multiple arcade critics per city?
Apparently. I didn't think she'd be coming today. There's not normally some little independent arcade is beneath her interest, but apparently she's made an exception. If we don't want to end up smeared across every website she writes for, I suggest you go play nice and show her all the positives of discomfort and burgers. Okay, I'm on it. Best foot forward. She's the redhead near the entrance with the handbag. Best of luck.
I easily spot her thanks to Gavin's cues. Considering this morning lacked the usual chaos I experienced on my first day at the Funplex, I'd say we're off to a great start, and I'm sure this reviewer will appreciate that. Wearing my most professional smile, I stroll over to the entrance.
Well, I assume we wouldn't have a birthday party planned for the first day. Also, seriously?
Fuck.
Oh no.
You! I remember you! Was it me or you? I don't even remember.
This was you.
Fuck. Oh no. Oh no. My my dear, wonderful Josh had a miserable time in your arcade at that birthday party. You just stood back and let that horrible woman say terrible things about me.
Yes, the best arcade critic does look like a Karen.
Well, this arcade was fun while it lasted. I mean, I guess top critic would be a Karen. Might as well burn it all down to ashes and build a new arcade on those ashes 100 years from now after this blows over. Before I can try to defend myself, she holds up a hand to stop me. Now, while I seriously question the wisdom of allowing you to run an arcade, and would love nothing more than to give you 0 stars and walk away immediately, I am unfortunately committed by ethical standards to stay and properly review your establishment in a relatively unbiased fashion. So as unpleasant as this may be for both of us, I suggest we remain professional, even if you've dug yourself a rather deep hole to climb out of, in my view. Understood? Even if I want to go on a tirade or chew her out, I've got to think of the arcade. This isn't some rando angry parent. Not this time.
This isn't a Karen.
It feels like chewing ground glass, but I need to swallow my pride on this. It's not just a Karen. It's an Ivanka.
Understood.
Well, you know, a Karen is just an entitled white lady. And Ivanka is an entitled white lady with power, unfortunately. Excellent. What I need from you now is to stay out of my way. No special treatment or consideration. I need to observe your arcade as a disinterested outside party so that I can judge your facility and atmosphere. But rest assured, if I see some egregious mistake, I will bring it to your attention. Pointedly. My readers likewise will become very aware of your shortcomings. I do my best to support consumer activism, and that requires absolute honesty of any difficulties I observe. So until such time as I require you, I suggest we speak no further. Agreed?
Sure. Fine.
As you were then. Wonderful. Just wonderful. My poor, poor throat. Not only does she hate us right off the bat, but I can't even leap to the defense of what we've built here without antagonizing her further. I may need to talk with Gavin about how to save Discomfort and Burgers from an inevitable negative review. Nothing else I can do now but pray to the arcade gods that everything from here on out goes perfectly. Once again, I wander the floor, but this time, while it's all smiles and pleasantries on the outside, I'm left all alone battling my thoughts. This is certainly not helping my anxiety, mind you. Being under a magnifying glass means anything that can go wrong will go wrong in spectacular fashion, reported on across every arcade enthusiast website in existence. Okay, she is a Karen.
Yeah, she is a Karen.
Yes, she was a Karen in a scene many chapters ago.
That was like chapter 1 or 2.
I think it was chapter 1, because I think it was part of that birthday party.
Yeah.
On our first day at Funplex.
Yeah.
She was screaming at some kid for ripping off her child or something, and the kid just cried and was insisting that she didn't care.
Yeah.
No, wait, stop. Bad thinking. Don't assume things will go wrong. Besides, the morning wasn't too eventful. Who's to say the afternoon will be a disaster?
The afternoon is a disaster.
Of course it will be. And then the afternoon was a disaster. I knew I had spoken too soon with the second I saw Gavin approaching me, with a tinge of worry furrowing his brow.
Utterly ridiculous.
It shouldn't be possible for us to be out of nachos in the vending machines this fast. And yet we are. I have receipts for ordering exactly enough to fill them up, and yet there were only a few bags in there. Missed delivery, perhaps?
And that was the least of our problems. Crunk, we've got an electrical problem. 3 of the retro games have shorted out. I don't understand. I tested the power supplies, outright rebuilt a few of them. Unless someone's seriously scuffing their sneakers and shocking the coin boxes, we're talking a failure somewhere in our electrical wiring. Calamity after catastrophe, they just kept piling up.
What?
What? All the toilets stopped working. All of them. We need to call a plumber fast. And not the one that jumps on turtles.
Anxiety rising!
What are we gonna do? This doesn't make any sense.
I'm freaking out.
Well,
I'll admit that. I'm freaking out. Maybe we should close down for the day? Iron out the wrinkles, try again tomorrow? We are hastily losing our group on things. And if I don't say anything, we may as well call it quits. I must refocus our energy.
Command the troops!
Look, relieving tension doesn't solve any of the problems.
We are going to war! No.
We're already at war with Jago's Palace, remember?
We are not giving in just because of a few bugs in the system. We are the Funplex expatriates, the proud crew of discomfort of burgers. Did we give up when Daco came knocking? Heck no!
Hell.
And we aren't giving up now.
It says hell.
I said heck.
Well, heck's not here.
I want to hear some solutions. Talk to me, Ashley.
The group exchanges nervous glances, and then, thankfully, stops to breathe and think.
ooh.
I will become the plumber we need. I mean, not exactly, but I'll grab a plunger and do what I can. We'll have to close down the bathrooms for now, but I'm sure we can convince one of our neighbors to loan us theirs, maybe? I'll check next door with them before I go to battle with our demonically possessed toilets. And while I'd say the vending machine issue is human error, I have enough faith in my own error checking to say this human is not responsible. I'll make some calls with our distributors and see where the chain broke down. Also, see about ordering some quick replacement stock.
Mine's a bit more complex. I need to replace the fried power supplies, but I can do that. I can do most of those today. Meanwhile, I'll put a feeler out to the indie arcade community online. See if we can get an electrician with arcade experience out here quickly. I've been meaning to get back into online groups, and even if it means popping my head up in a crowd, I'll do it.
Okay, good solutions, people. Good solutions. I won't be able to work the floor while I'm taming our restrooms, Krunk. Are you good with covering for me? You could use this outfit even.
No thanks.
Things seem to be getting more intense as the day picks up. You three focus on your tasks at hand. I may be the boss, but I was a floor attendant originally. I can handle whatever discomfort and burgers throws at me.
Throwing discomfort and burgers.
And burgers! Got it? Gotcha! But I'm changing out of this first. I don't want to get poo water all over our new mascot. Toodles!
I'm on it.
You can count on me.
With all three busy, that leaves me in charge of every problem that may emerge for the rest of the afternoon. No way to tap out with someone to help me with these situations. I need to work fast, hit every problem before it's too late. Can't leave any stones unturned this time. No risk of letting something spiral out of control. But I'm ready. I mean, I have to be. No choice. Feeling freshly invigorated, I start my floor trek. There are problems all around me, but what should I tackle first?
Beating up my machine's not good.
Yeah, I'm thinking 1 or 3.
You cut out what?
I'm thinking 1 or 3.
Yeah. Go
Just
with
because the video while showing pictures of bunnies is
one. It's also not good.
like something's broken.
Yes. Bunnies are cute though.
They are cute, but that's not the point. As I hear the clang and bang of someone assaulting a cabinet, I see Percy holding up a finger to grab my attention. I motion for him to join me, and he does. Yeah. I feel like
Everyone's tired except for Naomi.
Great, I'm gonna screen cap that. We're just 1 away.
One away. We're so close to being
We're
tied.
so close. I'm gonna tweet that later.
Okay.
Okay. Got that. Back to here.
I can see you got that.
Uh-huh, I know. I know you can. Thank goodness. I tried to grab Ashley, but she was in a hurry, brandishing a plunger like it was some sword. There's so much going on right now.
What's happening?
Some hooligans working his way down the retro games, yelling at them and smacking around the joysticks like they're speed bags.
What?
I swear he was going to knock over our joust trademark. That's how hard he was shoving that cabinet. People have been avoiding going near him ever since he started raging out. It's causing quite a scene.
I'll take care of it, Percy. Thanks.
Be careful, love. I don't like the looks of this one. He places a hand on my shoulder in solidarity before leaving. This happens more often than you'd think, someone getting so mad at a game that they start smacking the cabinet around. Unlike pinball, which will go into tilt mode to punish you, the only justice to be found here is my justice. I am the arcade law. You stupid fucking piece of shit game! I totally jumped over that fucking barrel. Fucking stupid monkey shit and his fucking barrels! Even if, well, I'm a little less than eager to bring the law down on this guy. So earlier there was a... This is a different guy than earlier, right? There was the guy who had pink.
Yes.
But, this little ghost with the X's, I think was on a similar vest, and is also the same as the teen girl's ghost.
Yes. Yes. All three of them have the same vest. That is true.
I am in awe of the size of this lad. He probably eats 6 whole hams for breakfast and bench presses pickup trucks for fun. Ah, so he's Luther. From Umbrella Academy.
Sorry, he doesn't have a literal gorilla body.
That you can see.
We can see his arms!
We can see this much of his arms. Technically, we could see Luther's hands before the thing too, but like... That didn't tell us anything for sure. But I know my duty. I know what I must do.
Ow. No. Right. You're done. Get out of my arcade. We're finished here.
Excuse me? Did I hear that right? Oh god, just what I needed right now. From the corner of my eye, I spot Mrs. Defame watching. I'd better stand firm.
You heard me. I'm the manager here. I reserve right to refuse service to anyone. So bounce your
Ass.
on out the door before I have it bounced out by the cops.
You little! But oddly, his attention is diverted to something or someone behind me. It's only for a couple 4 seconds. But his whole demeanor changes after that. Fine. He storms off, deciding he'd rather have the last word than argue it further. I turn to see who or what exactly changed his mind with a sharp glance, but the crowd's too thick. Whoever or whatever it was is gone now. I'm getting suspicious of them.
Yeah,
like, really suspicious.
Same.
Because there was that. There was the first dude who was just plain suspicious, and the
Yeah.
girl fidgeting with her watch before her card suddenly worked.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Defame returns to the crowd without comment, hopefully quietly approving of my law-bringing. That was odd, but I guess a win is a win. Now then, what problem to address next? Also, after this section of the 3, we should probably stop.
Yes. Yes. For the sake of
Okay,
your throat.
next I think we should fix the video wall.
Yes, buddies.
The retro television-based video wall was an idea I came up with during renovations. Naomi runs the whole thing off a cheap mini computer too. Practical and inexpensive, and it gives it just the perfect amount of flair. And I've been pretty proud of it up until this moment. For some reason, it's showing a nature documentary about cute and fluffy bunnies instead of retro music videos and arcade high scores. Not that bunnies are a bad thing necessarily. There are so many worse things that could be playing. But it's still not playing what I want it to play.
There is a lot of worse stuff.
Something's amiss. And as I'm hunting around for the remote control we keep at the prize desk, Teo approaches.
Bunnies, huh? Yep, bunnies. Interesting choice, Kronk. Not my choice, Teo. I'll have it fixed in a moment. Okay, cool. I was wondering if we'd suddenly experienced a paradigm shift in arcade theming or something. The bunnies are really cute, though.
Why is he winking?
Because dust is in his eye.
Grabbing the remote, I flick it back to channel 3, which should take the video feed from Naomi's system. And it flips back to the bunnies on channel 5 a few seconds later.
Uh-oh. Persistent, aren't they? Almost like the rabbits themselves.
So someone's hacking our shit.
Yeah.
So I click back to channel 3, and nope, once again it reverts back to 5.
Okay, clearly we're dealing with a master hacker. One who can modify Naomi's systems despite having no physical access to it. Individual capable of truly hacking the planets. Yeah. Or it's a prankster with the universal TV remote. I've got one of those myself. Helps me to turn off overly loud TVs in bars, which drown out the beats of whatever game I'm playing. Not that I would ever do that, mind you, just in case. But with great power comes great responsibility, and clearly whoever's forcing us to watch this lacks the latter. How about I go subtly check the crowd to see if anybody's got a clear line of sight, just pointing a gadget at the video wall each time you change it.
I'm also like, why is it on channel 3 and flipping to channel 5? Why is it like connected to any kind of like not internet, but like channel-based output thing? Like, shouldn't it be based on your input device? I'm strapped for help, so I'm not going to deny Teo's offer.
Sure, go for it.
The war for remote control continues for another minute, back and forth from music videos to documentaries about rabbits. And now it's showing the mating. Which I'm seriously hoping does not count as pornography, or it'll be yet another black mark against us with a certain arcade critic. It's only been a few minutes, but it feels like an eternity of copulating lagomorphs before Teo returns.
Found him. Orange jacket standing near the pinball section. Thanks, Teo. No worries. Anything for you, Kronk.
Wink.
Wink.
I roll up the sleeves on my hoodie, ready to put an end to this.
He had a ghost too. The
Wait a
teens
minute.
are hacking us!
Isn't that the arcade newbie from earlier? Well, not that the teens are hacking us, but I'm wondering if they're like a group that's been hired.
Yes. No, yes.
They didn't seem like a troublemaker at the time. What's going on here? Nope, it's definitely this kid. I can see the tiny plastic gadget in their hand briefly before they pocket it. Perhaps noticing my approach, the teenager rolls stealth and gets a natural 1, resulting in an awkward and obvious attempt at looking like an unimportant part of the crowd.
Hey. Didn't do anything. I mean, hi. Good to see you again. What's up? How are things?
Given this living bundle of nervousness, I'm not sure I feel like coming down like a ton of bricks on the poor kid. But rules are rules, right?
I mean, the basic answer is probably what I would say.
I like the top one. It's polite but firm.
Okay.
Ew.
Ah! I'm sorry, but I know you're the one changing the TV channel. I'm not. I mean, you are. But it's okay. It's not really a big deal. You kindly stop doing it from now on. You can let this go. It's not like you did anything seriously wrong, okay? Just stop changing the channel. Okay, sorry. I wasn't trying to cause trouble. I mean, I was, but... Never mind. Okay, I'll stop. Thank you. Bye!
And they're gone, slipping back into the crowd. That was weird. What's going on here? I decide to look around a bit more, hoping for some clues. What trouble should I investigate next? There's only one. A small crowd is gathered near the back of the arcade for some reason. It's especially odd because there's no games here, just some great wall art and posters that Juniper came up with. It's also especially odd that the crowd is ignoring Queen Bee over said posters. Charming! Real fucking charming! Hey kid, you seen this yet?
Seen what? Juniper's marketing must be on point to get that amount of attention.
It's probably been graffitied.
Oh, it's definitely been graffitied.
If only it was that kid. Here, let me show you. Queen Bee pushes past the crowd, glaring at them as she goes. Grow up! Don't you have better things to do? Sheesh, some people. And I see why the locals were swarming and snickering. Juniper made a bunch of posters and decorations based on Ashley's pixel heart design for the arcade. All part of our branding and marketing experiment. Except when you draw a big ol' ding-dong in permanent magic marker and use that heart as the base, well, it gets rather naughty. A fact which is not lost on Mrs. Defame, who turns up her nose at the improvised wall art. Great. Just great. So yeah, someone's gone and defiled a bunch of our posters. Fortunately for you, I got a good look at them just as they were walking away from this one. Big guy wearing a pair of blue shutter shades. Alright, so he's also in this gang. I'm more into virtual fisting than real world fisting, but I've got your back if you need to roll up on this guy. He looks like bad news.
Thanks, but I can't have you acting as official arcade security. We don't have official security jackets for starters.
Plus, then she'd have to remove her cute 4HK jacket,
Yeah.
which is cute. It's a cute jacket. I like this jacket.
Plus, I'm the manager. It's my duty to take this on.
Yeah, good luck with that. My advice, call the cops if you have to. This whole situation smells funny to me. Hey, you! No photos! Queen Bee yanks down the poster adorned with pornographic graffiti before it can go viral. She leaves the confrontation to me while she does her part to clean things up. It doesn't take long to track the guy down. For starters, there's his rather unique fashion sense. Also, I spy him in the middle of another graffiti stint. Caught red-handed. Kinda hard to give him benefit of the doubt or even a second chance. He clearly broke the rules of the arcade, but is following the rules of COVID. He's wearing a mask. Although he looks like the sort who could break me if I break the news to him badly. I should choose my words wisely. Ones that involve me staying in one piece.
Well? Are we calling the cops?
See, on one hand... Yeah, and on the other hand, calling the police on a black man? What do you think I am, a murderer? Or a Karen?
I was about to say, are we a Karen?
Crunk is not a Karen. Crunk is a crunk. So I'm leaning towards the bottom.
Yeah, go for it.
Mostly just because even if this is fictional, I feel uncomfortable with, yes, I'm going to threaten to call the police on this black guy. Out of all of those characters that were there, the black guy. No sense letting this guy off the hook. We keep this simple and clean.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
What do you mean you're not doing it?
Nope. I'm not seeing anything.
What, you want to sing?
No.
Hikaru Utada?
No.
It's right there. Come on.
Nope, I'm not doing it.
I feel like this has to be a reference.
I don't know. Sir, I'm the manager of this arcade. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave now.
Immediately he straightens up, looming large over me in rather threatening fashion, which has never stopped me.
I'm sorry, what was that, manager? Tell me to leave? You heard me.
At first, I think he's going to bounce me out the door instead of bouncing himself, but with a growl, he backs down.
Fine, it's your call, buddy. Yours alone.
And he walks right on out the door without another word. I am left in a state of utter confusion as our exchange. That seemed suspiciously easy.
Yeah.
But a win is a win. With that in the bag, I quickly look around to see if there are any other nearby problems I can address. Before I can continue my quest to purge my arcade of evildoers, I'm interrupted by an onslaught of my hardworking staff.
I knew it, Krunk. About our missing inventory?
When I get my hands on whoever did this, I found the electrical problem, Krunk.
Sabotage. Sabotage and treason. An enemy agent walks among us.
Okay, so we have some insight to what's causing all these messes, but it's a chaotic jumble right now.
One at a time, please. Our suspiciously low snack inventory was indeed not human error. The delivery truck never arrived here. Brought it to a garbage dump due to computer error, or, as I suspect, malfeasance.
And malfeasance explains our electrical problems too. Remember my joke about someone scuffing their feet and shocking the coin boxes? Nope, that's actually what happened. An external shock, not a grid failure. Someone's got a battery or some other shock prod and was using it to crash games.
Must be the same someone who flushed a bunch of wadded up paper towels and firecrackers down the toilets. It's a war zone in there. I was able to dredge up one super gross chunk of it. We'll need a professional plumber to get the rest.
This is all sounding way too suspicious to be random acts of hooliganism, and it also ties into what I've been handling on the floor.
I have to deal with pranksters all afternoon too. Even had to kick a few of them out the door.
I've been so busy playing firefighter, running from blaze to blaze with a leaky bucket, that I haven't been able to put the pieces together. But now it's clear, and I know what I must do.
We're not gonna kick some butt.
Right, we're gonna kick some ass.
No! The manager, we can't do that.
Well, not literally.
Are we gonna figuratively do it? Pick what you want.
I mean, technically my answer would be the last one, but, like, that's the basic answer. In which case, my second choice is the top one.
Go for it if you want. Right. That tears it. No more mixed nice spankle bottom. The gloves are off.
Krunk is getting crunk.
But you aren't wearing any gloves. Do you want to borrow mine so you can take them off?
Ashley, focus.
So you have an idea on who's responsible? Yeah, leave this to me. I've come to kick
Ass.
and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of gum. Oh, here, have some mine.
Ashley hands me a stick of gum.
That.
With a shrug, I pop it in my mouth, turn on my heel, and march off to resume ass-kicking anyway. And with a nod of solidarity, all of us split up, each on our own mission to thwart the ne'er-do-wells. I'm not particularly thrilled to begin this confrontation. My nerves haven't stopped jangling since this morning. But, well, my friends are counting on me to lead, to be the responsible one. I can't foist this off onto Gavin like I might have done at the Funplex. Finding my quarry isn't particularly difficult. She's been in the background the whole time, watching and waiting as I ran around trying to put a lid on the mayhem. Her eyes study me as I approach, grinning ear to ear. Hiya! Hi, hello there! Figured it out, huh?
Yeah. Can't say I understand the why, but I at least know the who. The matching fashion style was a B clue.
I guess a formal introduction's in order? Yeah. Okay. The name's Sue, natural-born leader, hacker extraordinaire, and leader of the Ghost Monsters, the hottest gang on these streets. Pleased to meet ya! She playfully curtsies, her wicked smile never ceasing. And yeah, I guess my friends were a little wild and crazy, leaning a bit heavy on the pranks. Okay, you booted some of us out. Not all, just some. That's cool. I mean, it's your house and your rules. You're the sheriff here and you lay down the law. I respect that. Let me make it up to you, okay? Sue steps back and taps a button on her smartwatch. And from the crowd of gamers, her whole gang assembles.
Didn't we kick two of them out?
Yep. Even the ones I told to get lost. Gang, this is... What's your name again?
Nick Specklebottom.
Gang, this is Crunk. Crunk, this is Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. Seriously? That explains a lot with the ghosts and the colors. Oh my god.
And then the ghost monsters!
They're the ghosts, they have the colors.
Of course!
Oh my god.
I love it! Thank you!
Now then. She turns to face her ghost monsters. You were all very, very naughty, and I'd say they're owed an apology. A big fat I'm sorry from each of you. Don't you agree? Each of them mumbles a semi-coherent, semi-sincere apology.
Yeah, whatever, sorry.
Real sorry.
I don't remember who's who.
I think I took that one because he was cussing up a storm, remember?
Gosh, I'm so sorry, Big Specklebottom. I'm very sorry.
When they finish, Sue faces me once again. There. Everybody's sorry, which means everybody's forgiven, correct? Because, and this is me being real with you, I like this arcade. I really do. It beats the crap out of Dago's Palace, that's for sure. I can easily see this being our new home, you know? I admire what you've done with the place. It's totally awesome, and I'm really looking forward to coming back again and again. I definitely don't want to end our first day here on a sour note. No. So I'm glad we could communicate like adults, apologize for being naughty, and move on. Now, okay, we may still ruffle a few feathers while we're here, but that's cool, right? I'm sure you understand that it's all fun and games, nothing personal. So, what do you say, friend? All's forgiven? I paused, taking in everything Sue rambled on about. ...
Let me get this straight. You scare our customers, mess with our television sets, smash up and short circuit our games, clog our toilets, redirect our mail orders, come back here after I explicitly told you to get lost, draw thumbs on all of our posters, and do you want me to smile and let you come back tomorrow?
Oh, Malik said, of course, and I don't know what that's to.
It was, of course, to Inky, Blinky, Inky, Blinky, Pinky,
the
and Clyde.
names.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My
I
words
saw
barely
one.
faze her, that grin still lingering. Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. I love this arcade, and I think we could be great friends. What do you say, partner? Waiting for my response, she holds out a fist to bump.
Honestly, number 3? Or number 4? Or number 1?
Not number 2? Sure, why not? I absolve you of all arcade sins. Lol, no, get out.
Actually, no, not number 1. We shouldn't be cursing at this kid. We should have a little bit more decorum of telling them, yo, get out.
I mean, really, my thoughts are apparently too Slytherin for any of the answers. Because my thoughts are, oh, you want to stay? Then instead of being the troublemakers, you're going to be our new security force, okay?
You cut out completely.
I said, well, where did I start cutting out?
You said, this A, and then...
Okay. What I said was, if you want to stay, okay, you're our new security force. Instead of causing the troubles, you're going to be responsible for stopping all the people and kicking those people out. You're going to be responsible for enforcing the rules. Because they're scary. They were scaring people.
Can we legally hire these teenagers?
Hmm?
Can we legally hire these teenagers?
As long as they're of legal age to work, which I feels like they are.
Hmm. But that's not one of the answers.
I know.
So what are we choosing? Like I said, I say 3 or 4.
I'd go with 4 then, because I do not like number 3. If you truly love this arcade, you have to stop causing problems. She doesn't love this arcade truly in her heart this way.
Rules are rules. You can't claim you didn't know the rules. Obviously, you knew them, and you broke them anyway. That's a simple and clear-cut fact. I don't know why you caused so many problems if you claim to honestly love our arcade, but regardless, that has to stop. You can follow the letter and spirit of the law. I'll let you come back. Banning you is effectively the same thing as allowing you in, provided that you play nice. Either way, no more trouble happens. That's all I want. No more trouble. So, can you promise me you'll obey the rules of the road?
Also, fix all the shit you broke. And fucked up.
No helping it.
I wish I could, but promises. Well, promises are a pretty strong thing to ask for, you know. Something's wrong here. I can tell when someone's being sincere with me. She's clearly genuine about wanting to come back, but seems conflicted. How hard is it to not hack machines and run wild? Why would that be a problem? Is she Daiko's daughter? No, really, is she Daiko's daughter?
She might be. My offer's on the table. No negotiation, obey the rules, and we're fine. I can forgive today's mess as a sign of good faith. But break the rules again. I'm getting the police involved. Understood?
Sue raises an eyebrow at that. Whoa. Put the brakes on. Bad idea, friend. Really bad idea. You don't want to even think about getting the cops involved in this. No. Because, and this is me being honest with you because we're on such good terms, it won't do you any good. We'll be out and back on the streets within a day. We've got friends in high places. We don't sell drugs or weapons, we sell information. And information as a currency is far more valuable than what other gangs trade in. So if we're doing this, we don't involve the pigs. Any problems, you come to me direct. That's my rule. Break that rule and, well, you don't want to see what I can do with the push of a single button.
So now you're threatening me.
What a shame, because she really does look so cool. I'm just telling you how it is. What you do now is entirely up to you. But before she can continue her tirade, we're rather rudely interrupted. Oh my god. Are you fucking serious?
Is this a reference?
They're just...
Huh.
Well, delinquent leader, I've been Sue.
Gosh dang. Oi, Sue!
Hell!
You think you're doing here?
The thick tension that surrounded us melts away, redirected to the new challenger. All eyes glare towards them. Who let them in with chains and baseball bat and shit?
I don't know!
And a sword? She's literally got a fucking sword.
I don't know.
Oh, great. Okay, Krunk, hold that thought. I got business to attend to.
No, not in here!
Damn.
Right, you do. Ghost monsters don't operate south of 23rd Street. You,
Damn.
well, no, this is lovely chainsaw territory. Get lost or get tossed.
If I wasn't confused before, I sure as heck am now. All I can do is watch this unfurl before me. With a clap, Sue summons her buddies to her side. She's Hamza's daughter. Malik's face pumping.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm sorry, south of what? I don't recall signing any non-compete agreement with you, darlings.
Ghost monsters for life.
Oh, ghost monsters? This locker room gossip queen is disrespecting your fearless leader. What do we say to that?
Nobody disses Sue on my watch. Nobody.
Yeah, I ain't scared to hit a chick. I'm an equal opportunity, socially maladjusted individual. Think you've got your answer, ladies. Now then.
Let's rumble?
Let's rumble! Well, to their credit, they didn't throw the first punch, but we're talking Han didn't shoot first levels of moral high ground there. Immediately, the ghost monsters and the lovely chainsaw are at each other's throats, grappling, punching, shoving each other. A baseball bat gets swung and clangs off the side of a racing game. Soda cans are thrown, someone uproots a chain near the snack machines, and that goes flying too. It's chaos. Complete and utter chaos. And it needs to stop. Now.
Iris. Already calling the cops, Crumb.
As for me, it's funny. When you start out the day anxious about what the future may bring, once that future goes completely to poop, well, that anxiety just fades away. There's something oddly freeing about seeing your world crumble around you. There's nothing left to fear. That means I can swing into action, ready to face it. Priority 1, get the customers the hell out of here. Gavin and Ashley are already on that. I join in, trying to funnel the panicked crowd of kids and gamers out the door and away from the carnage.
This way, hurry! In an orderly fashion, please. Out! Everybody out!
The fight spills into the restaurant area, fortunately well after anybody eating there had bailed on the place. This just adds greasy french fries to the mix of crap being thrown through the air at the opposing sides in this gang war. Damn it!
I'm not letting that
Bitch!
get away with this. Whoa, a gun!
Until now, it's been the world's sloppiest barroom brawl. Teenagers flailing at each other wildly, generally wrecking the scene rather than each other. But this is America, after all. But now she's pulled out a gun. America!
America.
Not some arcade light gun, but a real-life shooting and killing gun. This isn't happening. This cannot be happening. But this is 100% happening. The leader of the lovely chainsaw gang raises her weapon and takes aim at Sue, trying to end this. But her target is conveniently tucked behind Mrs. Defame and Naomi. If I don't do something, someone is going to get seriously hurt. My mind races. Calm acceptance washes over me.
No.
This is how things will be. No helping it. One chance to do something good in the midst of all this chaos.
No.
Time slows for me, like I'm trapped in a dream state. Pure instinct takes over, and I start running toward them.
Oh no. All three?
I mean, like, I don't know how you would protect one without protecting the others. And ideally, instead of trying to jump in to protect one of them, you should jump in to try to, like...
Take the gun.
Yeah. Or at least, like, point it in a direction that doesn't have people.
Yes.
Seeing as they're emptying the arcade.
Yes.
That said, that's not an option, and we have to pick one of them, and my preference would honestly be protect the one she's actually aiming at.
Yeah.
Like, Naomi is our friend. We want to protect her. Mrs. Dufame is powerful. She's the one who's going to, like, make or break our arcade. At this point, a gang war has broken out in the middle of our arcade. Yeah. I'm not going to try to jump in to save her life in particular in hopes of saving our reputation. So the morally correct thing to do, I feel like, is to protect the one who's actually being threatened.
Yeah. Get down.
Wow. Hey, look, we protected all three in a way. We protected all three in a way, because we're across all three.
Here's where the facepalm comes again. Get down!
Well.
Game over.
Whoa.
Holy!
Fuck!
What did you do? I was aiming for Sue. Pigs! Pigs! Run for it.
Stay cool and wipe the footage first. Do it!
Stay with us, Krunk. Stay with us. Help is on the way.
Oh. Well.
Wanted to make a dream for everyone to enjoy. That's all. Was that so wrong?
Maybe we should have stopped early. Although this is an awful place to start, too.
It's an awful place to start.
Alright, we'll finish this scene, I guess. There was no good place to stop in here.
No, there wasn't. It's what you would have done. It's what you did do for all of us. But this no good deed goes unpunished, huh? The Spangle Bottom family curse. Well, you did have a one-up in the corner. Yeah, we do.
You've a strong spirit, dear. You'll get through this. I know you will. But for now, you'd best wake up. There's still more to be done.
Slowly, very slowly, I open my eyes. The soft beeping of medical monitoring greets me, as well as an angel in white. Well, an angel in a white lab coat. While they're no heavenly being, they do appear to be my doctor, armed with nothing more than a clipboard. I'm still a little hazy as they briefly explain the situation. Thanks to my wild theatrics, I startled the shooter enough that her bullet missed its intended target, and instead it went into my leg. Which hurts like hell, but apparently resulted in a surprisingly clean shot that I'll recover from in a few weeks, easily. 2 days in the hospital, a week or two on crutches, some limping, and then I'll be back to 100%. And more importantly, nobody died. I can live with this momentary pain if someone else gets to live, period. So, could have been better, could have been worse. The doctor, having given me the report, leaves to treat their other patients. But before they do, they inform me I have a visitor. At least there's a plus side. I just wonder who it is. Oh god. If this is gonna be Juniper apologizing to us for the morning, I'm gonna cry. Actually, I'm about to cry anyway.
Could be.
Oh no. Juniper walks in the room, squeezing tightly to a stuffed bear. The fluffy creature is holding a sign that says, "Get well soon." It's cute and reminds me of the plushies in the arcade. She hands it over to me as she gets closer. I gladly take it and hug it into my chest. Oh, Crunk. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just the worst. I'm the absolute worst. I can't believe my last words could have been spoken in anger, and over what? Dirty socks on the floor? It's so stupid. God, I'm actually crying now. I just wanted to lift you up, help you find the self-respect I know you deserve to have. I'm trying to help, and I always mess it up. I'm so stupid. But I raise my hand to stop her.
Juniper, you're not stupid or the worst or anything like that.
But those things I said.
They needed saying. Look, Juniper. One and two? One and two. Can we say 1 and 2?
I mean, I think the right thing to say would be 1.
Yes.
But I am sick of getting kindly answers. That's it. That's the entire explanation.
Okay, but we should say the right thing, shouldn't we?
She shouldn't be blaming herself.
No, she shouldn't be. I can't think of any way I can be mad at you. You could pour sugar in my gas tank, and I thank you for trying to make me delicious caramel.
You don't own a car.
Also, I'm terrible at metaphors. But my point is, you're my best friend forever, my BFF. And I know you were railing on me for good reason, trying to help me be less of a total wreck. Don't be mad at yourself. I'm not mad at you. It wasn't even much of a fight, honestly. It's one we can resolve together. From now on, we'll both treat our home as our home. Not just a convenient arrangement of rooms that include beds and toilets and things.
You know, I'd be perfectly happy having you as a roomie for the rest of your days if that's what you want. If yelling about leaving your underwear all over the place can't break up our friendship, I'd say we'll be just fine in the long run as roomies. So for as long as you want to stay under our roof, I'll welcome you home, okay? A home. Even living with my family, I never really had a home. We'd move every few years as the Spangle-Bottom curse followed us around. Prospect of having a fixed address, a real future, one spent alongside my best friend in the world, well, it's a yummy, feel-good kind of feeling.
Yummy!
Yep, yummy, like cake.
Sounds good here. Wait, did we get cake before?
Eventually, it seems.
Okay.
Okay, you need your rest, and I need to see about tidying up back at the apartment.
I said I'd be happy to do that.
You're going to be on crutches for weeks! Manual labor's off the menu, and I don't want you accidentally tripping over the mess and ending up in traction. So this time, I'll take care of it for you. This time. Next time, I charge money. My rates are entirely unreasonable. I'll be there when you get home from this medical prison cell. Toodles! A visit from my BFF to smooth matters over was certainly a boon to my spirit. Now, if they could only do something about the food here... With my heart calmed, my body finally tells me it's exhausted. I snuggle into the covers as a yawn escapes me. Just as I'm about to roll over and drift off to sleep, another visitor drops in. What am I thing at? Ah, yes, we're still at almost perfectly even.
Almost perfectly, yeah.
It's likely well past visiting hours, but with no small amount of both dread and relief, I'm glad to see her. God, I'm not prepared to do her voice right now.
If you want, we can end it here.
No, we'll finish this scene.
Okay.
I have a feeling this is the end of the chapter, so we should just...
That would actually be impressive.
McSpanklebottom. A word, if you will. I try to straighten myself up from my pillow backrest. Time to put on my professional front, even if I'm in excruciating pain.
Okay, I should start explaining that what happened today isn't exactly indicative of...
I should hope it was. It's hard to disguise the disbelief on my face.
Why?
It seems I've misjudged her character based on an initial unpleasant interaction. But what I saw today, clearly you are no fool, nor a coward. I let my need to protect my family override my better judgment. How absurd to paint everything you've built at Discomfort and Burgers with that brush, all over such a small matter. God, what a fucking stupid name during this. I saw you selflessly throw yourself in front of that bullet. You didn't have to do that, you chose to do that. It's indicative of someone who isn't simply in this for the money, as so many in this industry are. While I'm uncertain why you protected that young criminal, I suppose someone who respects life deeply enough to even protect someone like her is to be respected. I suppose I've become a bit jaded from all those eager to cash in on the arcade scene. All the large-scale arcades I have to review tend to be very impersonal and cold.
So, you were impressed with our arcade?
Well, let's not go that far. I can't say I was thrilled with the amount of mayhem and disaster going on even before a gang war broke out. But I will also say I've only ever seen that amount of mayhem and disaster once before. It's highly unusual to say the least. The last time I reviewed a small up-and-coming arcade similar to yours, everything went wrong. Everything. I wrote my review in an honest fashion, and as a result of my scathing pen, the place was sold and closed down within a month. Sold to a notable figure in this industry.
Wait, you don't mean...
Yes, Dakonami. Such is the fate of any arcade which dares to stand up to him. Your prior business, the Funplex, only escaped being devoured by being far too small to be worthwhile. Sadly, your enthusiasm may have put it in his crosshairs, and if you cannot tidy up your reputation after today's affairs, Discomfort and Burgers will be the next. Again and again, torn down by Dakonami. This time, he didn't even have to lift a finger. By pure coincidence, the ghost monsters wrecked everything before he could exact any revenge. All he has to do is swoop in and buy out what's left of our dreams. However, I have come to a decision. Given I was a first-hand witness to your troubles, which were clearly not your fault, and given your willingness to put even your own life on the line for your arcade, I'm going to tell my editor I need more time, that I want to return in 1 week to get a more accurate and mature overview of your operation. 1 week. That's the best I can offer you. Didn't they say we'd need to be hospitalized for 2 weeks?
No, it was 1 to 2 days, a few weeks for crutches.
Okay, so we'll be on crutches. That's still not great, but okay. This is a difficult hole to climb out of, McSpanglebottom. Even aside from earlier trouble, having a gang fight and a shooting transpire at an arcade. Well, the press will feed on this. Even if I was the only press present and accounted for, they'll dig and they'll speculate and they'll chew on your bones. If your arcade survives that initial onslaught, I hope to write a proper review which can lay those concerns to rest. But I'll offer you no more second chances, no more reasonable doubts. Best foot forward when I return, or my readers will know the truth. Understood?
Understood.
Then I'll leave you to your recuperation. With a curt nod, she turns and leaves the room, leaving me with my thoughts. 1 week. I've got exactly 1 week to completely rebuild our reputation and clear the good name of Discomfort and Burgers. Otherwise, it's game over. For all of us.
Wow. You've cleared level 7 of Arcade Spirits. Winner is you. Now let's see your score. You're proving to be a gentle, sweet, and compassionate soul.
Disgusting.
Also, you scored 19,450 points. Woohoo! And now, let's have one last pizza fact.
Malik's
Malik
laughing.
Malik's laughing at you.
That's fine.
What's our last pizza fact? 62% of Americans prefer meat toppings on their pizza, while 38% prefer vegetarian. Everybody loves different kinds of pizza, and that's a beautiful thing.
Are they including cheese pizza on the vegetarian side? I guess it would, right?
It would be, yeah. Cheese pizza vegetarian. Do you want to save your game before proceeding to, drumroll please, the final level? Yes.
Save and end for the day.
An end stream.
We did.
Kill screen?
Well, we did nearly die.
That is true. But we did an entire chapter in one day.
And a half.
Yeah.
It's been 3 hours. Like,
Yeah.
we've been going for longer than usual, too. But there was no point in that we really could have stopped.
No, like stopping, it just would have been the worst.
Like, we said, like, oh, after the set of issues, but then we were confronting Sue, and...
And a gang wars and shot.
Yeah, which all would have been terrible things to stop at.
Yeah. Oh,
Or rather, terrible things for us to pick up from the next time, so... This is fine.
Chapter 8! And we did miss a day.
Yeah, we did. So we'll just say that we were making up from Wednesday. We went on fewer tangents today, you know. We only spent like 10 minutes trying to come up with the new arcade name, and otherwise we
That's not too bad.
we didn't really tangent too much.
Yeah. We did good.
My voice
We're
is
back.
shot.
Thanks for joining, Malik.
Yeah. Always
Oh,
a
yeah.
pleasure to have you.
Yeah, it is. Especially with the time zones and everything.
Yeah, really.
It's always a pleasure.
Forever shocked that you bothered to join us with the time zone difference. But we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Alright, well, have a good day to Malik, who still has a good chunk of day left.
Always a
And
pleasure.
good
Aw.
night to you, Sharky, I guess.
I got a few hours.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I got
Bye!
Bye!